life. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm pretty much content with just rhyming all day.
Or digital can instantly share pictures.
I can start. Hello. I am sorry, but I must interrupt this show. Later, you know what it is. Hey, ham solo. It's time, baby. Low. Let's turn out we do. Hey. They said we said we lit. They said we said we on. They said we said strong. They said we said go. We say that you heard right. 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 They said we said we in. They said we said on. They said we said strong. They said we said go. We say that you heard right. 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 Man, I swear that it's imminent. I've been going so hard on my penmanship. About to go in and buy me a whip. And I pull that shit fresh off the dealership. I can leave you on red like an Xbox. Got me laughing at you like you Red Fox. Got you chasing Hot Wheels like a matchbox. EA running the game and it don't stop. Super cold like I'm playing for Blitz. Cause you all in my sights like Red Dead Redemption. Never gonna slip on my pimpin'. Better get out my way, bitch, I'm on a mission. Really ain't no competition. I'm steady grilling opposition. I'm get up and ready to win. They can play it how they play, but fuck what you say. I'm getting this money today. Last of us like a dying breed. Down the ride like a noble steed. Fatality moves, I make it bleed. That's on any game, that's on any screen. Shut up and give me your money. They said we so lit. Even if I take an L, we coming back just to show that we don't quit. They said we lit. They said we on. They said we strong. They said we go.
Yo, what's cracking? Locust back. Locust's been fighting for his life trying to get into this stream, but it's just not been working for your boy. The kid out in Africa is having the hardest time. He needs to travel his ass back to Wakanda, Texas, where he's from, if he wants to, get that good old online kicking. But right now he's trying to kick it with his family back in Mozambique, and it's not working. It is not working for you.
You need to get back to the homeland.
Yeah, that man's homeland is looking treacherous right now. Shit ain't working. But anyways, thank you for showing up. Matt Likes Games is here with us today. There may be a few other people that join us throughout the show, but we are here right now for your for your viewing pleasures, I guess. Check us out, whether it's here on YouTube or Twitter. We're also up live there. Hopefully, I add a few more platforms in the near future, like Rumble, maybe Kick or something like that. But anyways, we're just kind of here kicking it today, talking about some gaming. It's been a little while since we've been on the channel. Figured I'd come through and say something since we usually have a BullSittin every Friday. I figured why not bring it back this Friday, especially since it's a couple days past Christmas now. Everyone's had a little bit of time to kind of kick back and relax, and I had my own little situation, little operation kind of thing that I had to deal with yesterday, and I recovered from that. So now I'm here and happy, functional, and ready to go. But I just got to ask you, Matt, it's been a few days since I got to talk to you because, like I said, I was out of it with my whole thing. I was going through some tough times. But brother, what have you been doing what have you been doing the last few days, man? What have you been up to?
Jeez. I mean, mostly playing games. Trying to think about what I've been playing. I've been playing a ton of Forza. As you know, I was like, for a while there, I was I usually picked out a game and was dead focused on beating it. And it was supposed to be Dragon Age Inquisition. And buddy, I'm telling you, I'm not liking Dragon Age Inquisition.
Man, so I didn't expect it's supposed to be the happy holiday season. You coming in here telling me what you don't like. This man is not a thankful brother. He is not satisfied with this holiday.
Well, I'll tell you what I do like is Forza Horizon 4. So I've been playing a lot of that, and I've also been playing a lot of God of War 2018 because I'm redoing that.
Games right now? Is that what you're trying to say?
What's that?
You trying to say Xbox ain't got no games for you to play right now?
Well, I mean, they just released my game of the year, and I beat it. So, They do, but God of War, because I'm trying to beat that again on PC, specifically so I can get to Ragnarok, because I want to see what Ragnarok looks like on PC. But outside of playing games, not gonna talk too much about it because the spoilers and everything. It did just come out, but I binged all this Squid Game yesterday. That was what I did yesterday. I didn't play much
Mm.
of anything. I binged that whole damn show. But that's what I've been up to, and that shit was awesome.
Yeah, we don't have to just limit it to video games. We can talk about some other stuff too. I definitely am interested and have been watching some Squid Games as well. I haven't finished it like you. You finished it like a maniac though. Obviously, it's been
Bro,
out for like all of like 30 hours and you're done
yeah,
with it already. So
yeah,
let me break down for like I see. Shout out to Ray Chi, Vincent Vega. I see you guys in the chat. Anybody else that's watching? I see we have a few other people watching. Whether you're here or on Twitter, I appreciate you guys watching. Holla at us in the chat if you want to say something or if you have a question or whatnot. We are here listening, just having a good time. Nothing really particular to talk about or bang over anybody's head, bang upside anybody's head today. But we are just more or less here having a good time talking about gaming. We had some spare time, so we are here giving you some of our spare time. So, anyways, but yeah, Matt broke it down for me earlier, and it's kind of a little bit of a tragic story how it happens because he was telling me like how he is gonna get in the Squid Games, and he can't wait for that show to come out, and I'm sitting here like fighting for my life and whatnot the last couple of days, feeling like complete ass, but like I'm seeing some of our private chats going on, and like I could see, Matt and Bill going back and forth. Oh yeah, it's gonna drop here in a couple hours. It's gonna drop soon, and I'm like, motherfucker, it ain't dropping yet. And so it legit didn't come out until like what felt like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or something like that, in the morning, on the 26th.
hmm
And remember, the 26th is a Thursday. That's one of the days that Matt usually works, right? In the evening.
yes.
He works a lot of evenings on Thursday. That's what he does. I don't mean to dox you, Matt, but that's just what it is.
No, it's a fact.
And this man he got the text that forced him to binge. The text read, "We are not needing your services this evening." And this man said, "Bet."
I said, thank God.
This man said, "Bet." You hit me with the words I wanted to hear. Like I wasn't trying to make any flow the day after Christmas. Fuck it. I don't
Oh,
need the money. I got everything I got right here in front of me.
pretty much.
And that man hit play and just forgot all the rest of everything going on around
I did. I was locked in 7 hours straight, bud.
him. 7 hours straight.
I couldn't be stopped.
He was in the game.
Hey, dude, I was immersed. I felt like I was there. Holy shit.
Oh my god, man. You made me laugh like the dude off of the Between Two Ferns shit.
Oh, Zach
Oh
Galifianakis.
man, you made me do the Galifianakis. I
Dude.
ran out of breath, so I was wheezing laugh.
Dude, I couldn't stop. I literally only stopped to make dinner. Took me about 30 minutes and I was right back into that shit. I was right back in it.
So
I couldn't.
somebody in the chat has a question or more or less a comment for you to
Yeah.
respond to, and Ray Cheese sitting here saying, "So Matt,
hmm
about them Steam Deck winter sales. So can you talk about
Yeah.
that a little bit?"
Okay, so I've been on my channel. I've been going over a couple games from the sale that I imagine people are probably looking at. Like a decent amount of people have Steam Decks. A decent amount of people, or also that's the only way they can play games. So I'm like, okay, I'm looking at the Steam sale and I'm like, what's on here that's really popular that I know people are probably gonna want to look at in terms of potentially grabbing that to play on their Steam Deck. So I'm going through my library as well as adding stuff to my library to record a couple videos and see how some games do. I recorded to answer Rachel's question, I recorded Space Marine 2, which I need to probably after this I'll edit, get it uploaded, have it out tomorrow. But so far I've done Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us Part 1.
Man,
And the whole reason for it is
coming soon.
because
Mike
what's
Jones,
that?
go. I said
Yeah.
you got another album
281
coming soon. Mike Jones, let's go.
281 330 8004.
Oh man, Matt likes games on the low.
Because Matt like seems about to blow. Dude,
You just felt the need to finish it. You couldn't stop.
I could not finish it. Those are like you can't not finish those lyrics. But yeah, so like the whole point of it was like with Ghost of Tsushima on Steam Deck, it says it's unsupported. And I got it, and when I saw that, I was a little bit disappointed because I fully expected it to work on Steam Deck, right? So I saw it was unsupported, and I was like, "Shit, should I just refund this?" And I didn't. I said, "You know what? Fuck it. I can get the refund if it doesn't work. They give you like 2 hours to try it out for yourself." So I was like, "Okay, I'll try it out, see if it works, and if it doesn't, then I'll get the refund." It did. Not only does it work, that shit probably one of the most optimized games I've ever seen on Steam Deck.
Even more than Dragon Age.
Well, it's right up there with Dragon Age. It's right there with Dragon Age.
It is
Like
a
Dragon
generation
Age.
behind Dragon Age, though.
Yes, that's true. That's true. That's what makes Dragon Age really so impressive on the Steam Deck. But like, I tried that and I was like, holy shit, how is this unsupported? And then you look it up and it's like it's unsupported because the multiplayer doesn't function properly with like Linux and Steam. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't care about the multiplayer. I'm never playing that shit. The single player works great. And then I tried Last of Us Part 1. That shit says it's verified and it runs like ass. It runs like ass and it sounds like ass because the CPU is constantly at like 100% usage. And because the CPU is at 100% usage, audio in the game gets all crackly and shit. So when they talk, it's crackly. When you fire a weapon, it's crackly. When there's ambient sound, it's crackly. It's horrible. I don't know how that game got verified. So I'm just going through. It's terrible. I don't know. Like I just don't get it. So I'm going through games that I think people will probably want to play or probably want to grab off the Steam Winter Sale and testing them out and seeing how they actually run. So there will be more of those videos, Raichi.
There you go, Rachel. You got your question answered right there. So obviously you've been enjoying quite a bit of things. Just for you guys wondering why I haven't passed the mic over to Loke. Just for you guys seeing Loke here and being like, he's real quiet. I
Sure
feel
is.
like he almost like you might even see it say offline right there, which means he can't speak, which is true. He can't. He's having a lot of problems with audio today. So I'd like to just tell you right now that him being there right there is just an in spirit type shit going on right there. Type shit.
Tie shit.
Type shit. Like for real.
Tie shit.
Like yeah, exactly. Nailed it. So yeah, he ain't gonna probably be talking very much. Rachie says Loke 7 has been absolutely has been naughty. As a matter of fact, when I was talking to him, because I was talking to him prior to the show starting, Hangover 7, maybe. I don't know. He might have Hangover, but I don't know. Because like I said, I was talking to him prior to the show, and he was playing Elden Ring, and bro was getting his ass beat, right? And I feel like right now he's playing Elden Ring. He's trying to hurry up and get a last second shot off like LeBron at the Lakers, but it is LeBron at the Lakers.
Yep. He sure is playing Elden Ring, that piece of garbage. Damn.
Shout out to Dorian Grassy. He says, I will never figure out why what people find compelling about games with dog shit writing? Like he said, like DA. Oh man,
Damn, that's too bad.
Dad.
That's
Damn,
too
he went
bad.
in on DA like that.
I'll tell
Oh,
you, I kind of feel that way about. Oh, never mind. I gotta give Inquisition more time. I feel like, but dude, I'm not enjoying that, and I think the writing and that's a little bit. I mean, people talk about the Veilguard writing. Inquisition just ugh it stinks.
how about the fighting in it?
The fighting's really cool. I like what they did in Inquisition because it's a mix of action. It's like a mix of the first two games. The second game was like a pure action game. The first game was very like tactical, thought out strategies and whatnot. And like you could get that camera like how you have in Baldur's Gate where it's from above, but you had a switch to activate that. So you could play it in full third person, or you can hit the select button and it goes up top so you have like a tactical view of the battlefield. And that shit's probably the best part of Inquisition. That's really cool. But like just the characters, I don't care about any of the characters at all in that story. Which is hilarious because one of the characters is in Veilguard and is a very big part of Veilguard. And in the Veilguard, I think he's written really, really well in that game. But in Inquisition, man, it's just not clicking. It ain't clicking for me.
Shout out to Dark Lord Alu. What's cracking? Thanks for showing up, showing out. Dorian Gray, laughing, calling Dragon Age like CW shows. Like hey man, I ain't even gonna lie to you. I ain't even gonna lie. I like some CW shows. There's some CW shows I like, right? Because I mean, obviously, there's only so much they could put on regular cable TV, right? So like,
Yeah.
I enjoyed it, but at the same time, like, I understood why people were like, nah, right? Because it's just a little too goofy sometimes. And I said that about Dragon Age, the recent one, right? Belgar.
Yeah, Veilguard.
I said that I felt like in some of the areas they just did very lazy writing. Like not like I felt like
Yeah.
95% of all of the stories that I've seen were good. But there was some with that dude. Who's that dude? The necromancer dude.
Oh, Emmerich. Emmerich.
Emmerich. There was missions that I just hated
Yeah.
from Emmerich. And same with like I didn't mind the missions with Tasha. I just didn't like the reason I was doing it, and the timing of the mission didn't make sense for the setting.
I get that 100%.
Like I'm doing this when the world is falling apart. Like it didn't make any sense for me.
Yeah.
So like I didn't like the story pieces for Tasha. Emmerich, I flat out like I hated like 80% of Emmerich shit. I just hated it. Like Tasha's, I really didn't appreciate it. Didn't like it. I felt it was lazy. But Emmerich's, I like hated that shit.
Yeah.
Like going around the graveyards, and I hated it.
Oh yeah, taking a fucking stroll with them through the graveyard.
Walking around with flowers and shit. Like I hated it.
Yeah.
It was terrible. So like I can understand where somebody would beat that game and be like, that wasn't my favorite one. But I could also understand where somebody would beat that game and look past some of that stuff and say that was the best one I've ever played. I could totally see that one too. Because the story, when you take away some of the pieces you didn't like and then ask yourself, was the story actually manufactured well and did it make sense at the end? It did.
Yes.
I don't care what anybody says. Whether they loved the game, they thought it was woke, what the fuck ever. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not speaking for you. I'm speaking for me.
Oh,
I
yeah.
thought it was a good story
Same
all
here.
around. I just there was some things in it that bothered me, didn't make me stop playing.
Yeah.
And there are some things, you know, there's games that I really like that will make me shut it off and quit playing, right? Like Stalker 2, I love that game. That was one of my top games of the year, but for the love of God, they had so many technical issues in that game. And then after I beat the game, as I was just enjoying myself playing, I couldn't find one of the relics because it spawned on top of a fucking light that I can't climb up to. And I thought maybe I was doing something wrong. There goes a Reddit thread that says, "Yeah, when that happens, you just can't get it." And I was like, "Oh, so it's like that?" Well, then I'm deleting the game.
Yeah.
Because to
That
me, it's like
fucking
I
stinks.
already beat the game and now I'm playing it for fun, but they took the fun away.
Yeah. That stinks.
So that's why and that's why I was telling Matt, and I'll tell anybody here that's watching right now. If you're planning on playing Stalker, I highly recommend playing that game. It's phenomenal. It really is. It's a really good game. But if you started playing it before the patches, I would recommend starting all over because they redid and put in several new patches that completely changed the game. And what I'm thinking possibly happened is since I was already having a save, maybe that fix messed up my save.
Yeah. Yeah, there's games that do that. There's games that'll tell you. Dying Light's one of them, where like you start you like whenever you load into a game after a new patch, it'll give you a warning. Like once you load into this game, you can't load earlier saves on an old patch. It'll just tell you. So maybe that is happening.
Yeah, so I mean, I wanted to give it a leeway for anybody else that's planned on playing the game, but I'm personally, unless they make a DLC to where I could then play what I have beat and continue on, which that might even be dangerous. But but unless they do something like that, I'm probably all set on that because I played the hell out of it and I loved it.
Yeah, they are making DLCs for that. I'm pretty sure there's 2 DLCs planned. Don't know what they are, obviously, but they're making them.
Now, I want to go back to the chat real quick. So, let's go back to Vincent Vega. He said, "Watch Shogun, the best show of 24."
I still need to watch it. I know people love it, but
What's that on? Is that Netflix?
it's on Hulu. It's like one of the big. It's like Hulu's biggest show in a while.
Really?
Yeah, people love that show, and I still need to
I'm
watch it.
assuming it's Japanese.
Yes, Japanese warriors.
Right. We used to have a restaurant back in my old hometown, Lincoln, Nebraska, called Shogun. It's a sushi restaurant.
Famous
And it was all about like samurai shit and whatnot. So like when I seen the name, I was like, oh yeah, it just kind of easily made sense, even though I don't know anything about that history or nothing like that.
Yeah.
Don't come for me asking me questions about it because I don't know nothing about it. I just knew that because a restaurant was named after that in my old town that's no longer there anymore. I think they have one here in Iowa though, which is yeah. I
Okay.
mean,
It's a chain.
I love sushi, but it's really hard to recommend it from a uh from like a kind of landlocked area.
Yeah. You know what? You know what? I've had
You know,
sushi
get some
probably
fresh fish
once.
in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, in the middle of the middle of the U.S. Get you some sushi down in Tennessee or something, dude.
Shit, you for the catfish.
Yeah, right. Oh, catfish. I fuck with catfish. I don't know. I don't know what your thought. I don't know why, dude. talking about catfish. But dude, I
I'll
fucking
fuck with
love
some catfish with hot sauce.
catfish with hot sauce. Dude, I remember the first time I had fried catfish. I thought that because I didn't want to eat catfish because I've seen a catfish before. I've caught catfish. The motherfuckers are ugly.
They're
I
disgusting.
remember they're
They
they're
eat shit.
they're
They eat
they're
shit.
hideous little fuckers.
They
They're
literally
like
eat shit.
yes, they're hideous little fuckers. They're like rats. They're like water rats, but big as fuck. They get
Yeah.
huge. And I remember catching
They
one, and
do.
I was like, God damn, that looks. Because I've caught all sorts of fish, like, and I have no problem eating them. But I remember my dad was like, "We're gonna try this catfish," and I remember what that thing looked like on the end of my finger when I was holding that motherfucker, and I was like, "No goddamn way am I eating that shit." And I ate it, and I was like, "Dude, this is delicious."
I rate you over here making Canada seem like the real land of the free. But we'll get to that here in a minute. Dorian Gray. Dorian Gray then says, and then you have Phantom Liberty up here written so well. Phantom
Oh yeah,
Liberty is written really well.
it's phenomenal.
And that is one of those like rare occurrences. And I want to really emphasize how much of a rare occurrence it is to have it just widely known as just good. Where just
Yes,
nobody really says you're wrong.
nobody disputes it.
Right. It just is an undisputable thing. And I feel like Cyberpunk's one of those games where, like, other than the performance when it first came out, there's
Mhm.
literally nothing anybody's complaining about it. No matter how much craziness is within the game, like we've talked about it many times here, and I don't really want to get into this subject too super hard, but like we've talked about the woke thing and all that stuff, right? And
Yeah.
Cyberpunk is up there with, like, if not like the top game in that sector that people are trying to put woke games into, right? Like it does everything that like people don't like,
Mhm.
right? But they put it together in such a package that makes sense with the world and how how the people would react in that situation, in relationships with other people, and some people that are really bullish, and other people that are very soft, and those that are in between. They married that really well into a game, to a point that people don't realize that they cry about that in other games.
Yes.
Like
Yes. That's
Mass
yeah.
Effect did the exact same thing. We've talked about this. I don't
Yeah.
want to beat it, but
Mhm.
I don't want to beat it down. And I know that's not what Dorian Gray was talking about. But
No.
but
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
kind of I'm just kind of throwing that out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. It's woke, but no, it's done in a way that nobody really cares. But it's like if you give them that example of what you just said, like, yo, this happens in so many games. Obviously, not many developers are as talented as CD Projekt Red. But like this, what you would normally be mad about happens in so many other games, but you're not mad about it here. So it's about the game. For a lot of people, it's about the game and how good it's done.
No doubt. Going down to Ray Chi says, "What is Killmonger down in Vice? I don't know. Killmonger in Vice City.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Did
I
you show?
don't.
Did you show a Vice City clip?
I did not. I
Oh,
showed. I showed. There may have been a GTA 3 clip.
oh,
I don't know. Dorian Gray says, "It's like Fallout 4. I could find my lost son or fix a bunch of awful strangers' house."
dude, I fucking Fallout 4 is my shit, and I fixed a lot of motherfucker settlements. I fixed a lot of those settlements, but that was my shit in Fallout 4.
What up, Berg? Berg is so based. So based. What's happening, Brizzle? It's good to see you. Ray Cheek goes on to say, Ham and Matt next year will become bodybuilders after following the push-up apology exercise. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even. Did you do that?
I saw that. So I only saw one thing, and I forget who the characters was. I want to say I had what's her name? I obviously had Tosh with me, but then I had maybe Balara
I
might have been
did.
the other one.
Alara was the one doing the push-ups for me.
Yes, yeah. So I only saw like that one scene, and when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, is this the scene that everybody's talking about?" And then it was over pretty quick. I mean, I thought it was kind of like, "Oh, this is goofy," but then it was over pretty quick. So
Did
I
you do any
think that's
push-ups?
no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I ain't do no motherfucking push-ups. I think I got like asked to like if I wanted to like take part, and I was like, nah, I'm all set.
Yeah, I didn't do any push-ups.
I ain't doing that shit. I ain't doing that stupid shit. No. So, anyways,
Great.
Rachel then says Hulu doesn't exist in Canada. So Disney Plus has all the Hulu shows included with no extra fee. Fuck you, Rachel. And this is what I was
Jesus,
talking about with Land of the Free. This man over here is living. See,
that sounds nice.
we don't have Hulu, but we have Disney Plus, and we only get Disney Plus shows.
Damn.
So yeah, to hell with you, Rachel. Because I really wish I could get both. I mean, a good deal. Oh man, I feel like. Oh man, I'm not going to say that. I'm not.
You should. You know what you should have done is, and I forgot to do it this year too. Is the Black Friday Hulu deal? It's like 99 cents for for per month for a year at Black Friday, and I forgot to do that shit.
Oh, he was looking at my Cyberpunk character. He is saying that they had the Killmonger. Yeah, they have like some Killmonger haircut thing. Yeah,
The
yeah.
official black
I put
person
that on my
haircut.
character before everybody started bitching about it.
I mean, I don't know why they're bitching. It's the official black person haircut.
It is. Yeah. If you want to be famous. No, I'm just kidding. All right. So Dorian Gray says Andy Warhol has a quote:
W.
"Great art, you can get away with anything, and that is what we want. Be woke, but be good first." That's a fact.
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm one of those people, and I know Matt is. I'm one of those people. I don't care if your game's woke. Is it good? Is it
100%.
fun? Is it fun? Because I'll play it. If it is like, because I feel like what a lot of people think woke is, or what they call it, is anything that kind of gets under their skin or offends them.
Yes. Yeah.
If I get offended by a game, I'll just stop playing it. I know what I'm not going to do is waste weeks on weeks talk. I might talk about it for a week, maybe two. If it happens to be news, then I'll talk about it more.
Yeah.
But what I'm not going to do is try to turn it into news.
Oh, there's a lot of that online. There's enough of that online. I'll say
There
that.
is enough of that, man, and it's just it's boring
It is.
because it's really to me it's just people just sharing opinions repeatedly. And then they're like, oh, this person's saying the same person last person said. I want to listen to them.
Yeah, dude. I don't like, my whole thing is the game fun? That's where I start at with the game, because the game needs to be fun for me to get some sort of instant gratification from it. And then the story, if the story is good, then that's just fucking cherry on top. And then I'm happy. If you want whatever you do after that, by all means, go ahead and do it. As long as you nail those two things, I'm happy.
Yeah. Speaking of not liking woke games, Cult Classic Cage on the $5 super chat
Yo,
shows
let's
up.
go.
It says, Sorry I can't pull up, but all love for y'all. Have a wonderful new year. We were just
God
talking
bless.
about Cult Classic Cage before the show, and I'm actually going to keep that
Yes.
chat up there for a little bit. We were just talking about Cult Classic Cage before the show because I was just like, and I'm going to keep it a bean 50 right now.
Good.
I'm going to keep it a bean 50. That might be my new catchphrase right there. A bean 50. Because I've never heard anybody else say that before.
I haven't either, but you're the first on that.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it a bean 50 with y'all. I invited Cult Classic Cage to the show earlier. After I invited Paris to the show. And after I hit enter to invite Cult Classic Cage, I was like, what did I just do? What did I just do? This might not be good. Or it could be great. I don't know. But one thing that I did say, because props to Cult Classic Cage. I'm a fan of hers.
Mm-hmm.
She's dope. One thing that me and Matt were talking about with her was there's a lot of things that we don't agree on, right? And
sure.
and I'm not trying to get her to agree with me, and she ain't trying to get me to agree with her.
Yes.
But the whole coexist thing is like more than that. Like it's like, yo, like what's up? Like I'm down to listen to whatever point of view you have, because your point of view and your purpose of saying it is not to offend or degrade or make me feel like garbage. Your point of view is just to tell me your point of view.
Yes.
And then I tell you my point of view, and then we move on to the next topic. And that's what I respect about her.
Yes. She's incredibly authentic. And I don't agree with a lot of what she says, like you said, but I respect the hell out of her, and she is awesome. She is awesome.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I like that somebody is willing to say something,
yes,
and then stand on it without trying to feel like they need to conform you to be cool with you.
Yes.
Like I can't say how much I respect that in a person, like a trait of a person. But anyways, moving on. I know I am not sitting here trying to kiss ass at all. I just appreciate that about a person, you know.
Yeah.
And I've met a few people online that are like that, and Cult Classic Cage is just one of those people I appreciate. But moving on, Rachie hopped on here, and thank you for saying intergalactic, because I need to remind Loke to change that to his profile picture. He will be changing that intergalactic picture to his profile picture. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I can pull it up here in just a moment.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh yeah, it's a good looking photo, isn't it?
It's probably one of Luke's best.
Oh, okay. I think Umbra said he is joining soon. I'm not sure if he.
Nice.
I don't know what the book. But anyways, let me go see where this picture is so I can show everybody in case they don't remember. I think it was Fark U that sent it to me, because he is the mastermind behind these fucking pictures. Oh man, but I gotta share this one more time, because this is probably my favorite one. Like,
it's in Concord?
No. Well, no, that's not my. That's a good one. Now that is a pretty solid one, but that's not the one I was talking about. What's cracking, Ron Slusher? What's cracking? Good to see you, brother. Of course, he's saying something goofy. I'm gonna have to read that here in just a little bit, but before I do that, so I wanted to show this one first, because this is probably my favorite one. Is when he's looking like this.
They said we don't have the capacity.
Yeah. Look tried to get online today.
Yeah.
Look tried to get online today.
So we don't have the capacity.
That guy's the chef. This poor guy.
I love how Luke's
Oh
in the
man.
background behind himself as well.
As we don't have
Yeah.
the capacity.
Dude, I can watch that over and
Oh
fucking over.
man.
It is great. But the one I was talking about, since he brought up Intergalactic, this is the
So
one I was talking about. I mean, I wish he was here to defend himself, but he can't. He can't.
having a
Look at
hard
that.
time. Looking good.
That's solid, right there. I mean, that looks just like him.
It does.
He looks like he is there.
It does. That's about as authentic as it gets for Luke.
Oh
That's
my goodness.
wonderful.
Anyways, yeah. So let me go ahead and read this chat while Loke is up here looking as good as ever. Ray Chi says Intergalactic will be successful, but Naughty Dog know how to make people become emotionally attached to their protagonists. They are
Yeah.
really good at getting people to like who they create in the worlds that they create.
Yes, they're very good at that.
I still personally think, which I think they obviously will do, because it'd be really stupid not to, especially in the climate that this game currently is. I'm still more or less waiting on more gameplay though, because the game hasn't sold me yet. The only thing it sold me on is good graphics, but like it's Naughty Dog, and I kind of expect that. So like when you say good graphics and like Xbox, and you say, oh, what's a good studio to list off that's super
Coalition.
simple? I was thinking of Coalition. If someone said Coalition and you showed me a nice graphics, I'd be like, okay, like I kind of expected that. It's kind of how I felt. Like the only reason that the newest Gears of War was so jaw dropping without gameplay is because it brought emotion that we all went through already.
Yes. Yep. Marcus Phoenix and Dom, baby.
Exactly. So like that's the only like I feel like that's a good way to play a trailer without gameplay.
Yeah.
It's hard now to do that with a new IP. I understand is really hard, but then I kind of feel like it's fair to be able to tell the creator that, hey, cool, but I'm not exactly hyped yet.
Yeah. That
Because I
makes
don't know
sense.
how many games I've seen that have beautiful cutscenes, right? But the game is terrible. There's plenty of games that have that. There's games that died already that had that.
Hey, yeah. Shout out to Concord. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm sold on that game entirely because it's Naughty Dog and it's a new IP. That's the only reason. If anybody else besides Naughty Dog came out and showed this, or anybody who's not in my top 5 studios came out and showed this, I would not. It would do pretty much nothing for me. Pretty much nothing. And I'm right there
Yeah, if
with
this
you. I
was
want to.
Bandai Namco, I don't think Matt would be that excited.
No, I wouldn't be excited at all. And to let me keep it a buck. I remember a couple weeks ago after the Game Awards when we had the show, I said it along with a lot of other people. This trailer sucked. That trailer was terrible to me. I did not like that trailer. The
Yeah.
only reason I was hyped is literally Naughty Dog, new IP. That's it. You got me with that. All this extra shit is cool, whatever, but I want to see some gameplay, but you already got me interested. Just being who you are.
You
That's
didn't
it.
care about seeing Porsche or Sony and tapes
No. Don't want to see I
sipping
don't care.
drinks.
I thought it was as soon as that thing, like, because he ended the show with it, and then the first thing you see in the trailer is the camera pan out and there's a giant ass Porsche logo. I'm like, God damn, are we getting an ad for Porsche to end the show? Like, what the fuck is this? And no, we're getting a bunch of ads for a bunch of different things to end the show. It's like, I didn't like that. Didn't like that. But it is what it is. They showed it, and I'm excited that we're getting a new game from it.
Yeah, I just got done saying all of this, pretty much the same stuff. Like, I'm excited for it. Just, oh, Umbra's here. I didn't even. Oh my goodness, how long have you been down there, brother? Hello, Umbra, you there?
Infinite.
Oh, I'm at it now. Hey, what's up, fellas?
He said, I'm at it. Oh my God. How long did you been down there?
Probably about 10, 15 minutes. Something like that.
Oh my God.
It's all good.
Damn.
No, it ain't all good. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right. Like you like, I'm just supposed to join us. I'm like, I'm here. What's up with you guys? It's all good, bro.
Funny. Umbra, brother, thank you so much for joining us. I'm not sure. There may be some other people that might come on a little bit or not, but I don't know. We're just kind of kicking it, talking about the end of the year, bunch of games, just kind of bullshit. And the games, the show is called BullSittin. So that's what we're doing right now. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Just chilling. I've been playing some Witcher 3. I got caught in the bug again. It's funny because I was playing the, Indiana Jones and everything, and I'm like, I still need to finish that. And I've, put a lot of time into it, just wandering around, just taking in the environment. Then I saw Witcher 3 on sale. Yeah, when I saw Witcher 3 on sale, and I was like, you know what? I bought that. That's like, I think that has to be a record for the game I bought the most, by the way. I've rebought that at least 5 or 6 times. I never do that for games. That's how much I love that game. So I saw it on I think the Steam sale or whatever, and I was like, you know what? I wonder how this would look on this 4080 Super. So I got it, and
immaculate.
Man, the visuals, ray tracing, and Ultra Plus and all that, incredible. And the game already looks good on just on consoles. It looks ridiculous with all the bells and whistles. It's insane. And I put mods on it and all that. I'm 30 hours into it now. I didn't even mean to do that, and I got sucked into the game.
Okay, so before I enter you into the current conversation that we're having, let me ask you a little bit about Indiana Jones. Me and Matt we beat the game. It's Matt's game of the year this year. Just so
it is.
Mad late.
That's dope.
It jumped into second place for me of game of the year. Number 1 was Metaphor. I had number 2 at Stalker, but Stalker had too many technical issues, so it got bumped down to 3. And
fair enough.
And Indiana Jones is now sitting strong, not barely at 2, but strong at 2. It's kind of like pinching Metaphor a little bit, like get moving, motherfucker. What you doing? But I really enjoyed Metaphor.
I loved Metaphor. That was my game of the year.
Gotcha. So I got to ask you, Indiana Jones, what do you like? What do you not like? Because it doesn't matter what. I can tell you things I didn't like about Metaphor. And there's no freaking game that's absolutely perfect in every single area and doesn't have anything bad about it.
True.
What did you like about Indiana Jones? What did you not like about Indiana Jones? And then kind of, even though you haven't beat it, where do you kind of see it on a 1 to 10 kind of score for you currently?
So I've put about 30 something hours in Indiana Jones. This is how much I've been wandering around. Like, the game's not even a 30-hour game. I could have done everything by now and been done with it, but just taking in the world, beating up these fascists and Nazis, the sound effects that's true to Indiana Jones. Machine Games did a hell of a job of capturing the essence of what Indiana Jones is. Like, honestly, this is not a standard, FPS type of game. It's more of like an immersive kind of sim. And they did a good job with that. Like, I know but a lot of people were wondering, hey, this third person option here, is that going to mess things up? Like, why didn't you go to the route of Tomb Raider or Uncharted? But I think this was probably the smartest choice. And I think it could have worked either way. And I did see that glitch, by the way, where he was in third person and beating up the Nazis. And some clip I think J Rock shared and in the chat he shared, and I was like, why does it look like he's going like put him up, put him up?
That's perfect, especially for the time for the era.
Oh yeah, for that era for sure. One more thing out of you, one more out of your lip, and I'm pow right to the moon,
right to the kisser.
Right in the kisser. But no, it is dope, man.
Giving everybody Family Guy flashbacks.
Right. Pow right in the kisser. But I would say this. I think after I put in more than enough time in to say what I feel on it, I think the game is for me about an 8 out of 10. Great game, honestly. I don't know why I doubted Machine Games, because initially I thought, well, I think it'll be okay. No, the game turned out to be really, really damn good. And I'm only at an 8 right now. I might end off at an 8.5 or something like that, right? And I've seen many people saying this is their game of the year now. I'm talking from Ryan McCaffrey to Boom to you guys, or at least to Matt. And I've seen other people that's in my circle say it.
Number 2, it's scratching though.
Hey, listen, they did a good job, and I think some people might try to write it off as well. It's just Xbox guys saying, no, I don't really think that's the case. I think this is just a well-made game that people have gravitated to. Honestly, I don't know where I will put it on a list of 1 through 5 or whatever in my game of the year list just yet, but it's dope. I do want to get back to it. It's just I came across a masterpiece in The Witcher 3 again. It's tough to put that aside once you get sucked back into that. But no, the game is phenomenal, man. I played it on my ROG Ally on my PC, and I haven't tried it on Xbox just yet because it looks so good on my PC. It was like, what's the use? But it is it's a great game. What was the other question you said? Where would I rate it? I said about an 8 out of 10.
Well, I asked you what you didn't like about it.
Oh, what I didn't like about it. What didn't I like?
Yeah, that's a pretty good start.
Yeah, so like, I know I can tell when a game is really good to me when I have to think like, what didn't I like? What didn't I like about this thing?
Yeah,
and so far I'm struggling to come up with something I didn't like, and I would maybe say Sukhothai, and I'm still there on Sukhothai, and that's probably why it's taking me so long, because it's very expansive. It's kind of a little slow boat ride. That doesn't bother me, but it's it's expansive in that way, and you have to really go all around in a more slower pace in that moment. It's from boat rides and stuff to get everything. And I'm a what they call it, a completionist when it comes to that. So I'm doing all of this without any guides and all that. So I'm it's taking time for that reason alone. I would say maybe pacing in Sukhothai could have been better handled. Sometimes the whip animation doesn't quite work when I've tried to whip the guys or pull them. It'll like do a little tired whip, but that's possibly my fault for not, I don't know, whipping it right. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting ancestral flashbacks. I want to whip them. I don't know what it is.
Baby, whip it all night.
Yeah, right. But I absolutely do love beating these Nazis and fascist stuff. I will tell you that. And they'll be like, oh, and I'll be like, oh, pow. So that's really fun. They did a good. It's just a fun game. It's a fun, well-made game. And at Vatican, the Vatican took me about, I kid you not, about 20 hours, just because I was so enamored with the verticality of everything, of finding everything from the highest spots to the underground to the Vatican, and how well everything looked. The Sistine Chapel, how nicely they interpreted all of that real world stuff into this game. I'm a sucker for that. Even when I play like Assassin's Creed games and I get into those worlds, it's like, wow, they really did a good job of capturing the real world. And hell, they did so well with the Assassin's Creed game, if you all remember. They used that to help them rebuild the burned sections of that chapel in real life. Like they
yeah.
So that's how well they captured that. And Machine Games is no slouch. I wouldn't put them quite on an Assassin's Creed level when it comes to it, but they did a damn good job, especially for the era it was set in and stuff like that. The 16 and everything like that looked the way it did at that point. It's just a well-made game, man. I will say, just like I say, maybe pacing might be the only thing, and specifically for the Sukhothai stage area, if you will. But other than that, 8 out of 10 for me so far.
Matt, I never got to ask you that question as well, so I'm gonna ask you the same thing, and then I'll answer it myself before we move on. What don't you like about Indiana Jones?
What don't I like about Indiana Jones? God, man, that's actually very difficult. I'd say I don't even know like what I would pick because like I think they nailed it. Okay, so I'd say probably because it does play like an immersive sim, like very much so. I would say they nailed the whole stealth approach aspect of it. And even if you want to go a little bit crazier than that, you can. I just feel like it doesn't it leans really heavy into stealth, but it doesn't lean really heavy into the opposite. So like it gives you the choice of doing stealth or just going crazy and killing everybody, but it doesn't lean into the going crazy and killing everybody thing like something like Dishonored does. Which is, I don't know if that's really fair to hold against it because it wasn't branded as an immersive sim. It just plays like one. So I don't even know if I could hold that against them. But if I had to pick something, I guess I would go with that.
Okay. Oh boy. All right. So for myself, I would say sometimes the AI is too fucking dumb.
I should have used that, by the way. That's fair. I did not even think about that. I'll let you cook.
Sometimes it feels like I'm just walking right by it.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand this is Indiana Jones and corny shit happens, but like, I don't know. Like sometimes it's just like, I feel like they don't react enough to you like being in the area. Like you completely show your whole body and someone's like, I think I may have saw, maybe not. Maybe I'm tripping.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, yo, like I was completely out in the hallway. And this is me just getting done playing Stalker. So you see where I'm at. Because it's like you show a finger and Stalker, you're getting shot at. In fact, in Stalker, it's almost too much of the opposite to where it's like, dude, I'm quiet in pitch black and you can see me. But it's the opposite in Indy where it's like, I'm right in front of you. You don't even know. You don't even know it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that kind of irritated me a little bit sometimes, but sometimes I was like getting my ass kicked. So I was just like, thank God. So there was times where it worked in my benefit. I ain't even gonna lie. But that was kind of weird. And then the other thing that was weird sometimes was just I felt sometimes the balance with stamina I couldn't quite grasp. It felt like I didn't know how much of something was gonna use something, and sometimes like I hit left, right, and then I accidentally hit left again and want to do something else, and it does a good job of remembering the combination that you're thinking about doing. But like sometimes just like, oh shit, I need to block right now because he's about to throw and you're already throwing. And it's like, dude, I'm holding the block button right now. I can see it coming. And it won't like allow you to catch it in time. And then your stamina's further depleted. And yeah, I didn't really understand the balance factor of the stamina as well as I'd like. I ended up pretty much powering through it because they give you enough books and stuff like that to be able to figure shit out and go through it. And I was, but keep in mind, I'm also being ridiculous and trying to fight a whole base.
Oh yeah, dude.
So there is that kind of maybe I'm tripping. I mean, I'm telling you, that could be realistic. I could be the one that's tripping, right? Like, ain't no guy fighting 30 motherfuckers, right? But in certain parts where they weren't able to start shooting guns, because in certain areas of the games, they ain't wasting no time. But but like in the parts where they do want to fight and punch it out, I was trying to fight literally everybody on the block.
That's what it was for me, man. That's why I said I was just enjoying knocking the hell out of everybody. It was like bow, and you don't let me catch them with a parry. Oh, I'm giving them nasty uppercuts. I'm giving them prime Mike Tyson uppercuts. Oh, it felt good. I will tell you that. But when you were saying the stamina, my goofy head. Why am I here thinking about that dude who did the fake Eminem rap when he was like how Eminem raps and he's like, I'm in a cabana, stamina cabanas, Hannah McKenna.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I will say that the enemy AI. I mentioned this before on a different podcast, and it just slipped my head right now because I guess I wasn't thinking well enough. But the enemy AI is poor in some cases. They will fight you back and more numerous if you put it on a harder difficulty, which I would advise everybody to do. Put it on this hardest difficulty, just for that alone to increase them actually giving you a challenge. That's the one area where I feel like they could have really done better, and that the enemy AI is not that intelligent, I would say, because there are moments like you said where I just walk by and it's like, shouldn't you have been like, shouldn't you been upset right now? Like it didn't work. But I will say, even still though, with that being the case, I still haven't had like an issue of like not enjoying it. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I can see the fault, but it hasn't hurt it for me. Does that make sense?
No, it does. No, it does. Like, if I'm being honest, sometimes we're enjoying something, and this could be anybody, anywhere, whether it's PlayStation, Nintendo, a fashion club, I don't care what the fuck it is, right? If you enjoy something enough, flaws and all, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's flaws and all.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you're just like, I mean, there was some, there was some silly moments. I'm sure we've all played like whether it's God of War and it's been like, man, that's like a 2-foot jump. Come on, you Kratos, and you can't jump up. There's all sorts of things in different games that that's just like, why? Why is it like this? Like, I'm a super person and I can't go through this wooded wreckage right here. I could see that there is like there's a ton of that. There is a ton of that in Remnant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a ton of that in Remnant. And I love Remnant because I'm just like, I don't care. I'll get my way over there. I'm gonna kill everybody. I'm gonna figure it out. Flaws and all. Whether I like it, whether I champion it or not, I'll deal with it because I'm enjoying myself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how, I mean, you're talking the same way I feel about the game. Like, I seen that and I still loved it and I still gave it second place.
Yeah, man.
So going back to the conversation now real quick, Ray Chi was talking about Intergalactic. Me and Matt already talked about it, so you're the last person to talk about it here, Umbra. He says Intergalactic will be successful because Naughty Dog knows how to make people become emotionally attached to their protagonists. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Thoughts on it? Hello?
Oh,
What was that, Ham? Ask that for me again. I thought that was directed at someone else.
Oh no, it's on the screen.
Oh, Intergalactic will be successful because put Naughty. I guess he meant Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
How to make people become emotionally attached to their protagonist. I agree,
let's go.
but I'll elaborate. Let me mute this phone here because this phone was loud. That's why I didn't hear it. Sorry. So yeah, I agree that part of that will be part of it. The people will become emotionally attached. Although you do have the DEI anti-woke people who won't give it a chance at all. And by the way, it is hilarious seeing bald-headed Loke with a mustache here on this image right here. Who did that for y'all? FarQ.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I should have known. The man is villainous. Now I think that will matter, but I don't know how much it'll matter versus everything else. Gameplay and everything else trumps all of that. You have a solid gameplay loop and the story is solid enough. That will matter more than if I'm emotionally attached to the protagonist. You know what I mean? And also the threat is the antagonist good enough? Because a lot of people forget that part. It's not just the protagonist.
Yeah.
The protagonist is only as good as the antagonist. So if they have that element proper, then I think they'll have a winning hand. That's the thing for me. And I think they'll do that though. I don't look at Naughty Dog as just, oh, they delivered some type of emotional roller coaster for me. I look at them to deliver on story, gameplay elements and such too. You know what I mean? And that's what I think they're going to deliver. That's why I'm excited for the game because I know they're going to likely deliver when it comes to that in all aspects.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
And you're correct, Dorian. Gameplay didn't help Concord. That's true. But they didn't make Concord. They didn't make Concord, to be fair, though.
Yeah, and tell you what else didn't help Concord is charging $40.
Facts.
That didn't help it either.
Facts.
Yeah,
Game should have been free to play.
Not for a free to play style game. Like you can play Marvel Rivals right now without
For
paying
free.
money.
Dude, Marvel's Rivals is popping off. That shit is going nuts right now.
And it's familiar, so
yes, very much so.
Things that people love. It made it really easy. Concord's I don't know where their roadmap was taking them, but I feel like most of the industry could have told them that wasn't going to work.
I mean, yeah, dude, a lot of people, seems like a lot of people tried, but it's one of those things. What was that report after the game came out? There was like an air of toxic positivity and the development house. And I mean, you can kind of see it if that's the case. If they're not open to feedback, I mean, that is a game. Looking at it, that seems like it wasn't open to a lot of feedback. So, in the end, it hurt them.
If that's what they meant by toxic positivity, then okay, I get it. But what I feel like it really was just people trying to jam something down someone's throat. I don't think it was any sort of toxic. I don't think anybody was like, yeah, go. I feel like those people that wanted to say no would have got fired for saying no.
Yes, and that, that's because that's kind of what the report was. Like, there were things about how developers thought that the game could have done things a little bit differently, and every time they brought up those concerns, people at the top of the studio were just like, "Nope, mind your business, don't care." And like,
how's that toxic positivity? Like, to me, that's not what that means.
So from what I'm understanding, it's toxic positivity in the sense, and maybe I'm getting this wrong, but from my point of view, it's toxic positivity in the sense of they only want you to be positive about this thing. They only want you to, if you're not positive about it, well, then they're not gonna hear you. They don't care about your thing if it's not positive feedback.
Umbra, am I tripping? I don't know. I feel like you're the tiebreaker in between here. Is that what toxic positivity is supposed to be?
No, toxic positivity is supposed to be like, I'm gonna say this with all due love and respect, and he knows this, but it's been thrown at him many times. It's something akin to Paris, where they're like, oh, he's just positive about everything. He doesn't have any real negative or even controversial feelings or views on anything. He doesn't have a definitive stance. It's always, well, it'll be okay, or as Gaz and everybody throws at him, kumbaya. That's toxic positivity. That's what people are talking about. They're saying like it's always the silver lining talk. It's always positivity talk. It's never you're not supposed to be critical of things that the developers or whatever do, a publisher does. That's the toxic positivity people I've seen complain about. When Xbox had its issues or PlayStation's had theirs, and people were like, for instance, with Concord, I know Paris got a lot of pushback from this, and I even saw it in inner circles. And again, this is not just about him, but I know it's been used against him, so that's the easiest way for me to use this. No shade, of course. But for instance, when Concord was happening, and I remember he was on Web Dave's show. Shout out to Web Dave and Paris. He got connections with people there in that studio with Firewall. With the studio that was when he existed. He had connections there with them, some of them, and as he was saying it on the show, like, I don't like what the people in the audience are saying. Like, people in the chat were like, the game is one and done. It's done for DOA, et cetera, which anybody who was paying attention knew Concord was dead on arrival. We all knew it. It was obvious as hell, right? And he was like really kind of striking out on those folks and saying like, the chat is console warring. And they were not console warring. They were just really factually stating that game was dead on arrival. And I think because he had connections with those people there, it was more sensitive for him. You know what I mean? So he was like being defensive, and a lot of people took umbrage, if you will, to that. And I know that for a fact because I've seen it. I saw it not only in that chat, I saw it in other chats elsewhere, and people were like really tearing him apart. I'm not joking when I say this. And I got love for Paris, so it's no shade. Again, I'm not saying this to throw him under the bus. And I think that really is who he is. You know what I mean? When he says those things, I know people are like, oh, he's faking and he's fronting. He just doesn't want to lose, blah, blah, blah. No, I think that's just who he is, genuinely. I don't think he has that type of, I don't want to say dog in him, but he doesn't have that type of critical viewpoint that a lot of us might have. And I'm not even that overly critical when it comes to things. Like, it has to be really dramatic before I'll be like, hey, I don't like this right here.
I feel like people I feel like people forget that people can be good at something and only be good at a sector of that something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like when you say you're good at football, or you say somebody's good at football, that doesn't really hold any weight. But when somebody says I'm really good at being a wide receiver, you know exactly what they're good at, right?
Right.
So I think that same way with pretty much any job, right? So even being a critic, right? You may be a really good positive critic. You may not be a good negative critic to some people.
Yeah.
Or you may not be able to serve what people are looking to consume, right? When it comes to the negative feedback that this may deserve in their eyes.
Yeah, I think that's fair, and I think some strike a better balance than others, right? And
right. So when he says that, hey, this game is pretty good in my opinion, but it may, turn some people off in this way, but all around I actually kind of like it. He was saying nothing different than what I and Matt have been saying on this channel for weeks. We didn't have a problem with Conqueror. We liked it.
Yeah.
Everybody else hated it for these different reasons, and it failed. Me and Matt didn't like it for how it was coming out. Like $40? Like, why is this 40? That's the reason I didn't like it. I didn't want to support that.
I had a few issues. Gameplay, I didn't play it, and I didn't have PS Plus at the time, so I was not subscribing to do that.
The one other thing I
visuals,
didn't
though,
like about it is I felt like it was slow. I felt like it was kind of slow.
Okay. I can't speak to the gameplay elements of it, but I've seen it in action. It didn't wow me. And another thing, I don't like hero shooters. So this game I would never play this game. I don't play Marvel Rivals. I do want to try to eventually play it, but I'm just not into hero shooters, fighters, whatever you want to call it. Marvel Rivals, and throwing it in there because it's not just a technique, a shooter, but those don't interest me. Just like battle royales, they don't interest me. So there's some things I just don't care to play. So for me, it's already negative, right? Then two, like Matt pointed out yourself, $40 for the game, which should have been free to play. I don't know why they stuck to that. They should have changed that once they saw the reaction and they saw those numbers. Yeah, when they saw how little people joined in to play that for the free weekend or whatever it was.
Yeah, for that little that beta.
Yeah, it should have been obvious. There needs to
have been free immediately.
Yeah, they should have changed that. They should have delayed until they made proper changes. And I'll say this too, and I know people who are saying this a lot, and I don't instantly write off everybody of the anti-woke crowd. I think some of them go too far, and it's ruined gaming discourse because of them, being honest. And because a lot of them are grifters. I'm sorry to say it, but it's true. A lot of them are just saying what they know that little angry, little incel idiot wants to hear. I don't vibe with that. Be real. That's me. I want honesty from you always, even if it's something harmful to me. I don't want you to lie. That's just how I am. So when I see them doing a grift, it's like, shut up. So that's the pushback I would say. But when people are pointing out that Concord, the character designs were uninspirational, uninspiring, disinteresting, or at least uninteresting, I agree with that. That's some of the worst character designs I've seen in any game. I don't want to play that. That's not sexy. Even if the person is heavy size or heavyweight, right? There are heavyweight characters in other games like this that look cool. They didn't have the
right show looks dope as fuck.
You see what I mean? So you can do that. You can strike that balance. They didn't have that. It was too much of dull colors. Yeah, none of those characters looked in like, oh man, I can't wait to play as Big Bertha here. No, nobody wants to play as that character. They look terrible. That the other character palettes, the color palettes, were horrible too. Like it was a lot of bad choices when it comes to that. And I think there has to be a point that even if you have a vision, I'm not saying they have to kowtow to everything somebody else in the audience is saying, but if you have enough people saying it and you have enough strikes against you on the gameplay not being exceptional in the space that you're in, because it's already a niche little area of gameplay genre that they're in, to have that where you're not going to shift people over from Overwatch to that with characters that don't look nearly as good as the Overwatch characters. It's just not going to happen. And at $40 at that.
That's insane.
It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous thought process. And I don't understand why Sony didn't change that or correct it. It's like they wanted to lose money. I don't understand that. So it had a lot of issues in that regard for me. And that's why I could see it was going to be dead on arrival. Then we saw the numbers of the people who played the beta, like you said. Yeah, it was obvious, right? So that when I hear about toxic positivity, it's not about what the game is putting in, a developer putting into a game. It's the influencers and such who are always peddling positivity, and they have no real critiques or negative things to say about whatever. That's what I've always seen used as toxic positivity.
I always thought toxic positivity, in my opinion, before I go in, shout out to Geek Life Mike says in the chat. He gave me a $9.99, $10 super chat. Says peace to all. Peace to y'all. Shout out to Ham showing some love. I appreciate you for stopping through. I tried to invite brother to the show earlier tonight. He unfortunately couldn't make it. He had some other things that he had to get taken care of, but he is a person that I got to meet in person out at PAX. And shout out to Geek Life Mike, he's a good brother. He's a good dude that just likes video games. He's not into the console war and BS. He is not into it. I mean, I cannot tell you enough how not into it he is. He hates it. he literally hates that shit.
Understandable. Like again,
I
if people have
totally
become so
get it.
toxic, I get it. I saw some dude on the PlayStation side who was like, he wished all the PlayStation guys a good Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And he said, Xbox guys, F you, Nintendo guys, F you, PC guys, F you. I'm like, now why? What convinced you to write that on Christmas Day? You got to have something wrong with you.
Just be a complete degenerate.
Yeah, like what the hell? You can't be this far gone.
Yeah, man. It is what it is. I'm gonna leave brother Geek Life Mike up there for a little bit as I get done explaining my part. But like I always thought like toxic positivity was just like forcing something that even when proven, like, yo, that's not okay. And someone's like, yeah, no, it's fine. And you're like, no, something's bad. So, like, I guess that's kind of what you're saying, right?
Yes.
With what happened with the whole Concord thing and your specific example, Umbra, with that. Yeah, I could see where some people could come with that. I've always thought, like, hey, if you at least put out some, like, hey, this could happen, or like, yo, if this happens, I will stand on business or whatever. Like, then I feel that it's fair to like still enjoy or still like something, even though others don't. Because I feel like a few people will critique a game. Like, I critiqued all of this stuff about Concord. I talked a ton of jazz about it, right? But I can tell you that I enjoyed parts of it. I had a good time while playing it. If it actually stayed like without all this extra BS happening, maybe I would have played a little bit more of it, just because there were some components about it that I thought were cool. The way the game looked, I thought was it was a nice touch, like in the sense of like graphics and like how smooth everything was. I felt like the shooting was nice and snappy and everything. I felt like that played pretty nice with it. Didn't really love being Big Bertha. I didn't love that, but I did like what that class was made to do, if that made sense.
Absolutely.
So like when I played as Big Bertha, and boy, did I make fun of her while I was playing as her. Oh, Matt was there while I was playing with him. I was like, come on, big baby, let's go.
Mama need a new steak. You gonna get one at the end of this session.
Yeah, man, I was dogging on her. So like I totally get the whole like part of, yo, like these characters are fucked. Like, like I completely get that part.
Yeah.
But like I also see where some people did have fun with it, because I had some fun with it. And I felt like it was a easier pick up and play game for me than Overwatch was.
Let me ask you something, and I'll throw this at both of you. Now, I had this discussion with a few fellas about other things. Marvel Rivals is one. And I said, well, Marvel Rivals looks interesting. It looks fun from what I've watched. I've seen TikTok videos on it. It looks really fun. It's just not my cup of tea, right? I don't care for hero shooters or hero fighters in this case. And it seems successful now, right? Short term. How long, though, do you think Concord would have lasted so you could go and do that, even if it released and it didn't shut down whatever day of whatever after whatever it was? How long do you think the sustainability of that game would have been?
As they did things right. And really, when I say do things right, I think the game is the game. The characters were going to look how they looked. There's really no change in that, at least not in the immediate future. So that the game was the game, but like doing things right in the sense of releasing that free to play, and not just like, hey, we're gonna put it in PS Plus, and if you're subscribed, you no, I mean like free to play. Anyone who has a PlayStation or PC can turn that on and play it. I think the game was fun enough that it could have lasted a while on the game, but at a certain point, a lot of these kids who play games and whatnot, like you think of the Fortnite generation, and even more than that, like now Roblox and shit like that. Like they want things that are appealing to look at. Like and shit, even myself with my ADHD, like I need instant gratification like all the time. So I need shit that's appealing to look at, that's fun to play. It needs to be the whole package all the time. And that game, even if it launched free to play, wasn't the whole package. So, it would have lasted longer. How much longer? Who knows? And is Sony willing to invest to turn it all around? Well, apparently not. So, you know, probably wouldn't have changed much, to be real.
I got a little bit different. I got a toxic positive way to look at this.
Let's hear
Do you want to hear it?
I can't wait.
Yes, let's hear it.
Okay, so let the toxicity flow. Let's go. All right, so I was thinking, like if this game were to come out, like Matt said, because I agree with Matt on, these characters are who they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just go to show you that you can fly a new ship into the universe. Here come sexy characters.
There you go. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? like they just, oh well, this is kind of having a hard time. Let's randomly introduce a sexy character.
Mm-hmm.
A few of them. Maybe I don't know, like maybe there's like a Spice Girl the trifecta or something like that. That you could like invite to the game, or like Spice Guys or whatever the fuck you want to call them. I don't know.
Spice Guys.
Attractive, like Rambo Bros, like whatever you want to call it, right? Like I feel like if you would have gave the game a chance and came out with it like free and like listen, like not giving up, but just listened to what people were saying about it and adjusted. There's other games that have done that in history.
Apex Legends.
I mean, there's one right there. I was reaching for that.
I mean, the characters in that game when it launched, they weren't the hottest characters. And you look at that roster of characters now, they know what they're doing over there at EA. They know who they're pandering to.
Yeah, and you got to try. I mean, in my opinion, it's like you got to fail and keep trying in the same, in the same area of that you're trying to become an expert at, to understand how the game is played. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I feel like what they try to do is make a shortcut to success because they didn't trust what they had. And that was the result of it. Oh, people didn't buy it. See? Instead of being like, oh, we believe in the long-term success. I believe if they actually did believe in long-term success for that game, they would have had it free. But they didn't themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'll add another wrinkle to that. I don't really think. I think they read the room wrong. I've said this before. Our Who brothers don't really care for these types of games. They don't care for first-party titles to be, gas titles. They don't care for that. That's not what they signed up to PlayStation for. They want third person, first-party titles. I was trying to say third-person action adventure, over-the-shoulder adventure, story-based games.
Those games are dope.
That's what they want. And they've been conditioned to want that, right? over these.
Well, they are dope games. I ain't gonna lie.
They are. I love them, right? I love them a lot, most of them. But
Yeah, most of them.
but,
Not all.
there are a few that could have been better, but I got love for so much, right?
Yeah,
but like,
I don't like the
not
robotic moves at all.
Yeah. But see, but there's, I think Sony read the room wrong on what their gamers want, because as harsh as you all might think we have been, I've seen the Who brothers far harsher toward Concord. Some tried to cap. I did see a few of that, but
I saw a couple of those.
Oh yeah, but because you're gonna inevitably you got to have somebody who's got to fight for the brand, right? But I will say I saw a lot of them being really pessimistic and negative toward the game, and I just don't think this is something they wanted. When we all heard the initiative of 12 live service, blah blah blah, like all of us were like, what? Say what again? Like no, all of us thought that was the wrong decision. It made no real sense, because that's not what PlayStation gamers signed up to Sony for. You would have to have a dramatic turnaround and change in player gamer style to push that initiative. So to me, I already thought it was dead in the water, and it's starting to bear fruit. Concord is the biggest flopping gaming of all time, costing either 200 plus million or 400 plus million, right? It's out there with the ETs. It's swamped ET, and it's overdone them. So now you got copies, I guess, out in the in the desert somewhere with ET. But my whole thing is, the game has so many different issues, and that could have possibly been fixed had it not been, we're going to stick to our guns and do what we want. Price should have been changed to free to play. Character models possibly should have been looked at. Color options, etc. Even, I'm sorry to say it, there are people who play these games, they want a goon. Let's just be honest. I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with that either, right? People play these games as a fantasy. A lot of gamers, they want to escape reality.
Exactly. Yes.
I'll also throw out there the whole notion that
and
the notion that we can't have sexy characters, I think, is dumb anyway. It's just so silly. It's like, it's counterproductive. Well, we can't have sexy characters, but here you can have a 400-pound mammoth running around. Like, come on, they can't have both. Give both options. And make those characters the coolest that they can be. How about that?
Yeah,
that's the I think the line where a lot of them are not getting it. You don't have to,
for instance, Umbra,
do what you got to do,
For instance, Umbra, look at the WWE. They have some of the coolest looking and some of the most disgusting, disturbing looking, and some of the cutest, and then some of the most putrid looking. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they got an assortment of whatever you like, and sometimes what you dislike gets them more money as well, because they see that you dislike it a lot, and a lot of people sometimes like to troll with the disliked stuff. Or like, I remember like like I don't know, like my bro Sensei 808, whenever there's a fighting game, he literally picks the character that nobody else likes to use, and he tries to get good with them. Just nice. Because that's his shtick.
He likes the challenge, huh?
He likes the challenge, but he also likes making people uncomfortable, like losing to somebody that nobody likes. Right? So it's just kind of like his fun little trollish kind of way of play. That's his video game. This is way to play video games, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But like, you gotta also give people what's traditionally liked at the same time. If you want, if you're trying to pull in everybody, you can't say something's for everybody and then make it for nobody.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, the variety, like you're pointing out, variety is the spice of life. That's an old saying, but it holds true. Diversity, I think, is a strength. I know that's a tired saying, and you got the idiots who don't want diversity, but diversity is a good thing. We'll have that in every aspect. Give us black characters, give us white characters, give us Asian, whatever. Also, give us curvy, delicious gooning material women and men, right? For those who might like the guys. Give us the Big Berthas to have difference in style and character. You can do all of these things. I don't understand why there is this divide where you can only have one or the other for some of these developers. That's the thing I would say. I think that would immediately stop a lot of these anti-woke idiots in their tracks right then and there. And I wanted to address something to my brother Dorian, who I saw you, by the way, Dorian, slandering Unreal Engine 5 earlier. I let it slide, but it's only so many times.
No, Umbro will have none of that.
It's only so many times. Then I'm going to start, disparaging your Asian honeys just to get back at you. No, I'm just messing. But so Dorian mentioned, he mentioned, yeah, but the top games on PlayStation are live service. Yeah, third party. Sure,
Yes.
those will do that, but not first party. That's not what the PlayStation gamers want. I guarantee you, if you go and talk to them and ask them what they want and expect from first party, they will never tell you live service games. And let's look at the top games, by the way, that are games or live service or games as a service. I saw Dorian. See what I mean? He put Unreal garbage. You see what I'm talking about? So Fortnite, Call of Duty, Grand Theft Auto 5, EA Sports FC 25, Roblox, Minecraft, Rocket League, EA Sports FC 24, EA Sports College Sports Football 25, Rainbow Six, Siege, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, NBA 2K. You see what I mean? Apex. That's
no, don't say NBA 2K.
Well, some is still there listed.
Don't
right?
say that. Take that back.
But like all these games are all third party. Yeah, people have these things that they'll attach to, but they don't do that for first party. They don't. I'm telling you right now, I've spoken to, and I got a good amount of our Who friends. I got a good amount of them. They don't want those games. I'm telling you, not as first party. They'll play them third party, no problem. But what they expect from first party are these third person over the shoulder action adventure titles. They expect high fidelity. They expect beautiful, well performing games that are single player in action most of the time. That may have a multiplayer component. Maybe that's just what it is. So I'm not trying to say this to try to sound smart or disparage anything, but that's why I said I think PlayStation just made a lot of bad choices when it came to Concord in this initiative of live service gas title thing. I'll throw this out there, and I said this before on other podcasts. I think Marathon might flop. I'm almost certain Fair Games is going to flop. And they said that they're still going to hold this initiative. Yeah, we're still going to push live service, and I get it. But you have to understand, most live service titles that people push out fail. Most. There might not be an oversaturation. I don't know what the saturation is in the genre. But what I do know is that most of them and most people are not moving from what they already play. It's just not happening. They might entertain it for a little bit, and you might have a breakout star like a Marvel Rivals, which is bolstered by it being, one, a good game, well designed as far as art style, very likable. Characters that they got some gooners in there. I've seen some people like, "Ooh, look at the shape." I've seen it, and it being Marvel characters that we all grew up on. It has so many good factors for it that it's hard to ignore, right? Oh, I see The Witcher. So, like, it has a lot of that going for it. You're just not going to have that with a lot of brand new live service titles. A lot of them are not going to be drawn to that, and then that's why I said sustainability. Even if initially you're doing it, how long is that going to last? That's the problem. They struck gold, I would say, with Helldivers 2. I love Helldivers 2.
Yes.
But like
Helldivers
2. How often is that going to happen that they're going to have another Helldiver 2? I don't think it's going to happen that often, personally.
They struck gold with Helldivers 2. Of all the games live service that you could strike gold on, they struck gold with Helldivers 2, and that's not the game. Like I see Dorian Gray says, because PlayStation is operating under the we just need one principle. They do. They just need one. And Helldivers 2 is not that one because it's monetized in some sense, but it's not something that they can monetize the absolute shit out of. It's not something like Concord could have been if Concord, was successful. It
still
could
not
have been
their Call of Duty.
Exactly. And that's how this whole fucking thing started, was like this idea, even though Microsoft is doing the whole thing, hey, we're buddies, we're going to give you games and everything, even though they're doing that, this whole thing started with Call of Duty being like, Microsoft being like, hey, we're buying Activision. And that sent PlayStation into this panic of like, dude, like, even if we still get Call of Duty, that's money going to our competitor. So it's like,
Yep.
they panicked. They started this whole initiative of like, yo, we literally what Dorian Gray said. We're gonna make a ton of these games. We just need one of them. We just need one of these motherfuckers to catch on. And it's like the one that caught on was the one that they just can't fucking do what they want to do with, and that's Helldivers 2. So they're gonna keep pumping. They're gonna keep pumping these fucking games out, hoping and praying that one of them catches on, and maybe one of them do. But once one of them does, if that happens, I think they'll be good. I think they'll come back to that realization of what Umbra's saying, like, yo, this isn't what everybody wants. We can cool it. We got our game. We can cool it with this. We can get back to doing what everybody expects and most people want from us. Which is the whole what Umber was saying, like the single player, third person, very heavy story driven game kind of thing. But they're frantically searching for that one right now. And I'm with Umbra. I would like it to be Marathon just because I like Bungie and I want to see them succeed. But dude, everything we hear about Marathon is just makes me less excited. And then
So
Fair
true.
Games. Fair Games, I honestly forgot that was even a thing, if I'm being real. So, so
The
like,
finals is fun though, and that's where I'm thinking
yeah,
Fair Games might have a
dude,
chance.
if
But
it's like the finals, that's great.
it reminds me a lot of the finals when I look at it, and the finals is fun, but then I'm just like right back where we started. Damn it! Like can you
Yes.
make like I just want like for me, for something to be as big as they're anticipating it to be, they need it to kind of be like fresh, not like I don't want to be able to compare it that closely because it is like that to the finals to me.
Mhm.
It seems like literally the exact same game. You're doing some sort of heisting with a small team.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
It's it's,
hopefully, yeah,
it's a
hopefully it's
dangerous
fresh.
venture, I would think, to put so much money into, because
Hmm.
again, most of them are going to fail. And I agree with Dorian. He's not wrong. Where they just need that one. But man, you're gonna have that's going to cost them a lot of money to get that one.
Yes,
And the
absolutely.
finals right now is so experienced in it. Like even if Sony does try to come out and they do something that may be kind of cool, who's to say the finals won't make their own next season something like that and
Or
just steal the
something even
thunder?
cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, it's a constant struggle. I think Umbra was. I think he might just flat out said it earlier, if not hinted at it. Of like, if they do fair games and fair game, let's say fair games is just as good as the finals. That's not gonna do nothing. You have to make something that is so undeniably better than the finals that it pulls people who are only playing the finals off of the finals. That's that's the thing you have to do. That's why, like, whenever you hear about back in the day with the Halo killers and everything, and then nowadays with COD killers and stuff, you have to make something that's so undeniably better than the thing you're supposed to be killing that it takes people from that thing and now they're playing your game. And
So true.
your game can be as great as that game is, but if it's as great as that game is, everyone's just going to be like, well, why would I've already got all my stuff here.
Right.
Why would I go over there just to play the same thing? You have to
Yeah.
be like 10 times better, which is like damn near impossible
It's an
at this
impossible
point.
ask. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what it's akin to, Matt? It's like the whole thing where Phil was having that conversation at the couch conversation when he was talking about how a lot of gamers made their choice in the Xbox One and PS4 era for digital
Mm-hmm.
games, and how
Mm-hmm.
now they're locked into these ecosystems because they have so many digital games into each whatever library on either side, It's hard to come back from that and say, well, I'm going to go over to this side.
Yep.
Now,
100%.
it's tough. It's the same thing with these games. They have investments into Call of Duty. They have investments into 2K, especially with the V-Bucks and all that, whatever the visual what they call those, the cash they spend for those,
VC?
V-Bucks for Fortnite.
VC. Thank you, VC.
Oh, VC for 2K. Yeah.
It's been a while for me, but VC on you got these other, the Fortnites, right? The dancing and then all these other emojis and emotes or whatever emotes, I guess, and characters they bought. All of that, they're not going to give that up just to play like, oh, let's play, I don't know, heavyweight Bertha. Like that's just it ain't happening.
Yeah.
And that's why I say I would tell Sony, yo, let that initiative go at least somewhat. Like if you're going to do that, invest it into one specific game that you heavily test market wise, as far as behind the scenes with people with what they call that marketing. It's a name for it. I can't think of the name right now. Where people can play it in
QA.
QA, and they can do QA and test it and see how people like it, how they're feeling about it. I just don't think most of these games are going to break in. One of my podcasts I did on the show was I put Out of Gas, GAAS. I thought it was pretty clever, and I used the guy from Concord looking distressed and had all these games as a service titles, the logos falling from the sky around him, from Suicide Squad to everything else, and that was with mainstay well-beloved characters like Batman and Superman and all of them still failed.
Yeah.
Because they didn't hit the market the way they needed to. It's a hard ask to ask all these people to jump from what they are used to after, a decade or so of playing these games to like, let me drop all of that and move to you now. It's just not happening.
Yeah, dude, it's tough. It's like Fortnite. Like Fortnite's been going for what, almost 10 years. Not quite 10 years, but we're coming up on it soon. And it's like, dude, they're not making a Fortnite 2. They're not making like all that money that kids and adults alike have spent in Fortnite since what, 2016? That's all still there. All of that is still there. So it's like you're asking those people to ditch those. I mean, shit. Our buddy Vinny, how much did he spend on Apex? He said he spent like $1,000 on Apex.
I think there's a couple G's.
Like, dude, like
I
there's
thought
people
Bill
like
said he
that.
spent like 3-4 G's on 2K.
Yeah, there's people who drop that money on their game.
It can't be me.
No, I can't do that, dude. I buy a season pass in a game that I'm really enjoying, dude. What is it? The game that came out earlier this year, First Descendant. Loved the hell out of it. Bought the battle pass and everything. I still felt, even though I wanted to support them, I still bought that battle pass and felt a little bit icky. A little bit icky. I was like,
it was too good.
I was like, damn. I want to support these guys. This game's fucking awesome. I'm playing the hell out of it. But just buying a battle pass, even for something I love, makes me feel a little bit weird. So I can't be the guy who's spending thousands of dollars on a game, no matter how much I love it.
Yeah, so for you, it's not a matter of. I thought it was like you were saying, like you felt icky because the characters was like too oversexed or something. You talking about?
No, them characters are. I'll tell you, they know who they're catering to. They're doing it.
That bunny girl had me. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, all right,
they are doing it.
I see you, bunny girl. But no,
added.
It's the principle for you. It's the principle of giving more money up like that. I get you. I get what you mean for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
You ever see a bubble pop up from the side of a tire?
Like a balloon when you poke a balloon.
Like, have you ever ran up a curb or seen somebody that ran up a curb and they got like a bubble in their fucking tire? It just looks like an abnormal bubble.
Yeah.
That bitch round as a motherfucker, right?
Oh man.
I'm telling you, that is the epitome of First Descendant.
Yeah.
It is like I was like, dude, that thing looks like that shit looks like it's about to pop.
Things are thanging.
It was angin'.
Yeah, dude. That they know their audience, and I tell you what,
thanks, hanging. This shit was crazy.
They're hitting out of the park over there.
They were hitting something.
I scoff at the whole, Vinny putting in that much for. Shout out to my brother Vinny, by the way, who put in that for the game.
Apex.
Apex, I put in at least that, if not more, for Halo, for Infinite. And then if I go
Yeah.
back to other Halos, I know it's insane. I know it's at least 2,000 or 3,000 over time, over life, that I've invested in skins or battle passes for Halo Infinite, stuff like that. So that happens when you really invest in a series. And Halo is my favorite series of all time. But again, that's a tough ask to have people come from Apex, where he put so much money into it, and saying, "Let me go play Concord and do that."
Exactly.
Not going to happen.
Yeah. If you're looking, if those are the type of players you're looking for, which of course that is, right? Like, who isn't looking for that type of person? A person to continuously subscribe. Shout out to Ray Chi, by the way, with the $2 super chat. It says, "Sexy is bad. This is why I play Need for Speed in a PT Cruiser." You're crazy. But
I remember being a kid. The PT Cruiser was like my favorite car, and then one day I saw it, and I was like, "Dude, that shit is ugly." I don't know what happened. It was just one day I saw it. I was like, "That shit looks terrible." It went from being my favorite car to just being like, "That
you
is
got some sense.
that is gross." I don't know what I was thinking when I was like 7, man.
Taste
I was out of
change.
my
That's
mind.
all. Taste change. You
And
get
also,
more
did.
refined. Yeah.
Also, speaking of subscribers, Blind Giant is here to celebrate his 17 months of membership.
Oh, shit.
Shout
go.
out to the blind one. Thank you so much, brother. Anyways, he says, shout out to the best podcast out there. Oh my goodness, it's playing. How do you get this thing to stop? Stop it. All right.
Shout out to the
We're on the
Hawaiian
loop.
brother.
Let's go.
Thank you so much, Blind Giant. Thank you for staying subscribed here and continuing to be a member. I appreciate y'all. But yeah, if that's what they're looking for, which of course that's what anybody is looking for, is long time subscription, long time support. Then you have I just I'm baffled by this, and I don't understand why I even have to bring this up or talk about it week after week. But like, if you want sustainability in something that people like, then you must pander to what they like.
Facts.
Yep.
It is not a crazy concept. Burger tastes good. I buy burger. It's fucking simple.
Yeah, but you're not wrong. You know what I'll add to? What's so odd to me? They had that. They had the Spider-Man live service game. Why in the world would you cancel that and not have it developed and continue that on and then bring it out? I think that would have brought them exactly what they wanted.
Yes, I understand being nervous about maybe about a Last of Us game. I understand the how do we do that? But how do you go from not being sure about that to letting that other game roll out? Like,
Yeah, that's the puzzling part to
that's
me.
where I got completely lost, because like they're like, we're trying, but the thing that people were looking forward to that you were trying on, you gave up on right in front of their face. And then you give out this soon after the leaks come out about soon after the leaks come out about the whole what's cracking Paris, by the way. Thank you for coming through. But anyways, soon after the leaks come out about the whole Marvel Spider-Man and everything getting canceled, and other games getting canceled that were, that were supposed to be kind of game am I thinking of? Damn it. Live service type games. Right. So yeah, I'm a little confused. Thank you for showing up, Paris, brother. You might have to change your photo on here so you actually can see, look like your actual person. But good to have you here. What's cracking? How you doing, brother?
No, I'm doing good, man. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, doing good. Hey, I appreciate the invite. Figured I'd come in for a few minutes, say what's up.
Definitely.
Paris, what's up with you, brother?
I'm good, man. Happy holidays, everybody.
You too.
Happy holidays, dude.
Yeah, so I'm sure you heard a little bit about what we were talking about, but before you come in and talk about, the topic that we're currently on and whatnot, you've got to tell us what's been cracking, what you've been playing, how you've been doing since the Game Awards. I got to actually see you live there, live and live in color, and you look good. You and Danny were like looking top notch in that damn building. I was like, golly, man, I'm over here sweating in a big ass coat. I'm from the Midwest, so I'm like big ass coat, right? And everybody else is t-shirt and all this other jazz. Y'all looking stunning. I'm over here hoping my degree is holding up because, brother, I was sweating.
No, it was funny. First of all, it was good to see you there, but I have to tell the story real quick on how we met. Yes. So we're at the JW, and I think we had just finished interviewing CD Projekt Red by Witcher 4, right? So I'm coming downstairs, and we're walking through the lobby. And you see everybody. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? And I saw, what was it, hip hop and some other people. So I'm saying what's up to them. And then you said what's up, and I have to be honest, I ain't 100% paying attention. And I'm like, hey, how you doing? And then you was giving me the look, like, I know this mofo didn't just kind of big time me, like he don't know who I am. And I looked again, and I was like, oh my God. And I just started laughing. That was so funny. But no, it was good to see you, man. It was real good to see you face to face. And I'm glad you had a good time at the Game Awards, since that was your first time going.
Man, I had to Colt Eastwood his ass into remembering who I was. I was like, yo, like look into my eyes, bro.
Yeah, I know. I have to admit, I was halfway paying attention, and then I was like, look, and you were like, wait, I know this dude. Oh my God, I'm an idiot. Yeah, that was good to see you, though, man.
I could tell in that moment you were like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, 100%.
I was chuckling on the inside. It was a good time, though. I met a lot of people out there. That was the first time I was kicking with hip hop, and that was one thing I was telling people about on my podcast. I believe it was like a week or two ago, but I was like, man, y'all don't be thinking Paris and all these other people are really out there and knowing people like that. But I went to the Game Awards. I was walking with hip hop for about an hour. And let me tell you, every 2 to 3 steps.
Yeah, I was about to say, you probably didn't move 10 feet. You probably didn't move 10 feet in an hour.
Bro. Like the first couple times, it's like you just, you rubbing your hands, you smiling. You're feeling good. You're like, yeah, what's up? Who's this person? Let me introduce myself as well. After about the 10th, 15th person, you just like, where we going, bro? But at the same time, it's like, everybody ain't seen each other like that. Like everybody around here, especially if they've seen or, heard of you or know of you or something like that, this is the time to see them and say something.
Oh, 100%.
You ain't gonna get another 100%. Time for another year, maybe not for another 10 years, or maybe never ever again. So, like,
but I'll say this, if you don't mind me interrupting. I'll say this because you've seen it for yourself, and I'll just use hip hop as example. That dude, online, real life, that's who he is, 100%. It ain't fake. It ain't an act. That's nothing. That's who that dude is, 100%. And that's what I appreciate. And look, I know we didn't get to talk a lot, but
no, we didn't.
I would hope you would think that the person you met in person is the person talking to you right now online. It's like it's not an act, dude. And that's why I always say to these cats that say a bunch of crazy stuff online and do all their nonsense, it's like, go to an actual event, go to where the people are, do the face to face, actually meet people, right? You were there, you got to meet people, right? People are genuine. Everybody just want to have fun doing this. They just want to succeed. They want the games to do great. All this online drama that you see is not real when you meet people face to face. I hope you got to experience that.
No, it was nice. It was really nice seeing just your regular person, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it sounds wild and it may not make a whole lot of sense saying that. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying though. But like,
no, I do.
Like just general people out there, like bros in like PlayStation, jackets and shit like that, excited about the next Xbox game and stuff like that. Like me seeing that, like me sitting next to somebody that's been there a few years, which that's who I sat next to, somebody that was there for the last few years, and they were excited for everything that was going on. They didn't care about the platform or anything like
exactly.
That. So like, it was just, for me, I like to tell people, or at least I like to try to tell people, it was refreshing. It was kind of a reminder outside of the internet that, there's a lot of people that I can just enjoy the show with.
100%. And that's what it's all about. That's why I love doing this. That's why I've been doing it as long as I have, because when you get to go to these in-person things and actually be around people that are just genuinely excited about gaming, that loves gaming, that wants to talk about it, that's not worrying about what platform something shows up on. It's just like, if you see a dope game, you see a dope game, right? Let's be excited about it and celebrate it versus, you obviously see the nonsense we see online. That's why I laugh at all this stuff, man, because it's not real. You can tell the people that actually go to events and meet people in person who just sits on Twitter all day.
Yeah, one thing I thought was kind of I thought it was kind of funny that I was actually at that event, right? And this actually this is the first time something like this has happened to me, right? And I felt like this was weird. I was at that event having a good time. Of course, end of the night, I get back to the hotel, I'm kicking it. I lay down, hop on X to see what's cracking, and I find out that it was the worst thing in the world that Phil Spencer didn't stand up during Astrobot. And I was like, yo, hold on a second. I was at that show. If I remember, you can correct me if I'm wrong, about 5 to 15% of the people got up and left during the orchestra setting part.
I would have been one of them people, because I think I sat in there for about 30 minutes and I dipped out and went to the suite. I wasn't in there.
Okay, fair enough. So you dipped out a little early, but you see what I'm saying? People are leaving and stuff like that, and some people are saying, "Yo, bro, the show was like 3 hours."
Exactly. Yeah.
I was a long tired after I was sitting there after that long. Like when Astrobot was I was scrolling through Twitter. I ain't even gonna lie, I was on my phone by that time. I was tired. So then when I see that it's the worst thing in the world that somebody was just sitting there, I'm just like, oh, okay, I see what's going on now.
Yeah.
But what I'll say again,
I was just able to see kind of the BS that's online.
Thank you.
Versus the reality.
Like, I've been going to the Game Awards since 2019. Obviously, a couple of years COVID, it didn't happen. But I mean, I've seen Phil there. I mean, he goes. I mean, obviously talks to people. He's very friendly. Afterwards, I mean, he's kind of. I don't think he was hanging on to JW this year at all. But it's almost like they purposely try and pick the worst moment to show him in the worst possible light. You know what I mean? Whereas How do you know he didn't clap? How do you know he didn't walk over to the team after the Game Awards and personally congratulate them? We don't know. I mean, I ain't trying to defend him, but I'm just saying that showing him that one little clip versus the 3 hours that entire show was going on and they were sitting right there in the front row just seems a little disingenuous.
I said the same thing actually on a different podcast. I said, it does look hilarious, and it does look like he's like, I knew they were going to give it to Astrobot. Right? It does, right? But like I said the same. I'm like, Phil's probably tired as hell, sitting here at this event watching, Jeff, blow into PlayStation controllers and stuff. So he's probably like, okay, let's get on with this and get these nominees through. It could be a number of things, and he probably did clap out of a frame that they didn't capture. Who knows? But it's funny, right? That's what it is. So they're like, oh, look at him, anti-PlayStation, when Phil has never shown himself to be that. He's probably been too pro PlayStation, if anything. So yeah, I thought the same thing.
It's funny that that's the takeaway from a 3-hour show filled with really awesome things that we're just like look at Phil not clapping. It's like, okay, what about like the dozens of games that they showed? Are we going to talk about that? Okay.
Nah, dog, that's not fun. But let's move on to something fun because I don't want to sit here and talk about this anymore. I want to move on, and this is the last subject because we got to get out of here. And we already been here for about 2+ hours. And I know Matt probably got to figure out dinner and whatnot. He's like, Ham,
right,
what
brother.
are you doing, bro? Like, come on. So I want Matt. I'm actually gonna show. I'm gonna share what you have on your screen, Matt, and you can start talking about this. And I'm actually gonna, after you talk about it for a little bit, I'm gonna kind of throw in a topic that I kind of want us to kind of end on that has something to do with what you're going to be talking about. So I'm gonna throw it on the screen right now. The secret is no longer a secret. There it is. So go on ahead, Matt. You have the floor.
So I'll let this play a little bit. But actually, before I let it play, the guy's talking about rumored 58 pricing leaks and everything. And I was kind of skimming through the video or some of his videos before where he was talking about this, where it was like he's getting to the pricing based on pre-built and their pricing and everything and the parts that are in them and speculating what the price might be and everything for the cards. And the whole thing came up because I was talking to Ham before the show. I saw the thumbnail for this video specifically, and shout out to this guy. I don't want to not give him any credit here. His name is Vex on YouTube. So subscribe to his channel if you're into PC and stuff like that. But he in the thumbnail it showed like RTX 5080 pricing leak, and it was like $1,400 for a 5080. Now I don't know if you want me to play any like the video here. Would you like? Oh, here we go. I can just jump to this right here if you want me to play this.
I mean, you can if it's just short.
Well, it's like a 17-minute video. I don't think you want to watch a 17-minute.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like that was the whole point of bringing it up was like the 58 pricing leaks, and I guess you wanted to speculate a little bit on the pricing leak or maybe add something to that.
So, I wanted to combine so the pricing of what new hardware is looking like with the idea of these next generation consoles, including what Nintendo is going to call a next generation console. So like you're seeing these prices, you're talking about like, obviously as a rumor that the 5080 is going to be around $1,400, right?
Yeah. I'm
actually going to go to the person that just got here first. Paris, I'm going to ask you first. Based off of seeing like pricing being outrageous or more getting to be more outrageous on the PC side for hardware, and knowing that, the PS Pro literally came out not that long ago, Nintendo's going to be dropping something, but also knowing Xbox is kind of working more towards the PC side, how do you anticipate any sort of new hardware to come out? Do you think we're going to just kind of rid ourselves with the basic console, or do you think Yeah. Are you think we're going to rid ourselves with the basic console and go more handheld kind of TV hybrid thing like a Switch is? Or do you think there's still going to be like a TV set type console that's comparable or closer to any of these crazier cards that we're seeing? Because we're seeing like our the PlayStation 5 Pro can't get nowhere even near like a 3080 or 90 even, right? And that's a generation or two back. So what do you
here's what I'll say. There will be a PlayStation 6. There will be another Xbox console that sits under your television, but it is pretty clear that Xbox will be doing some form of a handheld. I think Nintendo found the secret to future success with gaming consoles with the Switch, and that's why they're about to do another one. A console that is powerful, or a handheld that is powerful enough to play AAA games on the go, but then you can plug it in to your TV and have a console experience with that as well. The Steam Deck technically can do that now, along with the Rogue Ally and some of the other ones, but I think it's going to be even refined. It's going to be refined even more. I'm very curious with this Lenovo press event that's going to happen at CES. Your boy will be there. Your boy going to be there. So I'll see firsthand. Yeah. But I'm very curious to see. We've obviously had some spec leaks already on what Lenovo is going to do with their next handhelds. There's going to be a Steam OS variant. There's going to be Windows variants of it. Obviously, Xbox is going to, or Microsoft, I should say, is going to be involved in that, obviously, with the Xbox app and how they're going to continue to curate that UI experience on these handhelds. To your point about price, I will take you back to something Phil Spencer actually said during GDC earlier this year. It is getting harder and harder to subsidize these consoles. He said it. He said it then. And then you just saw the PS5 Pro with $700. So, look, we'll see inflation, all these things, in a few years where it's at. But don't be shocked if you have a $599 console for the PlayStation 6 and whatever the next Xbox is going to be. I just think that's a reality of where we are.
Do you see another Series S type?
I think the handheld is the Series S. That'd be my guess. Again, I'm guessing. I don't know jack crap. Just want to be clear. My guess is they'll do a proper Series X, replacement, which will be the quote unquote high end console, whatever the price is. But I think this handheld is what the Series S would be. And then you'll have that flexibility of you can take it on the go or you can plug it into your TV and play like a console. That'd be my guess. But I'll say this one last thing before I turn over. I think I would not hold my breath for a $499 console for the next gen. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of surprised you said $599 because I was under the impression, like anyone knows anything at this point, but like I was fully expecting, and maybe we will, maybe this is the case, that we'll see $700 baseline next generation.
Well, I think
it seems more palatable to me, honestly. It's not great, but it's way more palatable.
And that's kind of where I'm thinking. I'm actually curious to see how well the Pro is selling at $700, because I think that'll say a lot on what they do going into the next one. But $599 kind of seems to be the compromise. Whereas, all right, we can't subsidize it like we used to, but we have to raise the price. 600 is better than 700. Maybe that's kind of, the entry point, whereas they can have a all digital at 600 that people are going to buy. I mean, because you think about it right now, the all digital Series X is 600. So maybe that's where we go going into next gen.
But I guess you missed part of my question because I feel like it didn't get answered. And I'll clarify it right now just so you can go on ahead and knock it out of the park. And I can go on ahead and ask Umbra because that's the next brother I want to speak about it. But I guess what I was asking, because I did bring up the whole PC and the whole 5080 and stuff like that.
No, I heard you. I'm respectfully not commenting.
Gotcha. All right.
You are abstaining, sir?
Yeah, I have no comment. I'll leave that one alone.
Please, the fifth.
I'm just wondering, like, and you don't have to answer, but I'm gonna go ahead and say what I was thinking about saying anyways. I mean, I'm just kind of wondering, like, with the whole, upscaling technology that people are doing and the whole AI ideas, and it almost feels like it almost feels like, in my opinion, I could be totally wrong, but PCs are kind of at a certain point where they don't really they're not really needing to be upgraded per se for gaming as much as it does need to be upgraded for other things. So that's what you're paying for essentially with some of these newer cards. Because I mean, a lot of people will tell you, like, hey, if you're looking to play video games, you probably don't need to get a 4090. Just get like a 4080 or something, right? Because the 4090 is for a lot more strenuous things than you probably actually need for video gaming. So I was thinking maybe, some of these newer graphics cards are leaning towards other things than just gaming graphics and stuff like that to be top of the line and trying to be top of the line at something else. But then I wonder, well, then what's the replacement for that over on console? Because there was a time where console was a little bit more, a little flexing versus a PC, and now it's like completely out the water where console cannot catch PC at all. So I'm just kind of wondering, what is the kind of where are the breaks, and what can consoles do to stay competitive with like PC graphics, and also where developers want to continue to make stuff on a console instead of compromising because newer hardware is available and stuff like that. So that's kind of was my whole thought process behind the question I was going to ask Paris that he cannot answer. But anyways,
I was going to say real quick, what's good about that is your whole point of like a lot of technology on the PC side being developed more for tasks even beyond gaming. Is a lot of those tasks, I mean, especially with Nvidia, will help gaming, also will be a benefit to gaming as well as whatever else they do with those things. But even AMD, which is what's in the consoles, because they're even talking about their whole AI, like, because their upscaling isn't done by AI, I don't think. And they're talking about adding AI to their next generation. So it's all stuff that, like, might be more useful outside of gaming, but it is stuff that will absolutely or should absolutely help, in theory, games also. So I think it'll all fold back in on itself. Kind of what I'm saying is it'll all come back to gaming, for at least for the consoles.
yeah, it's just really interesting. It's we're running into an interesting time. But anyways, I need Umbra to go ahead and speak on this because we got to get moving.
Okay, frame that for me though, Ham. Frame your question for me on
All
this
right,
one.
so I'm asking essentially, seeing the prices of PCs getting higher, or GPUs getting higher, higher level ones getting more expensive. Seeing that the 4080 was what, like $1,000 at
It's like
launch,
$1,000, yeah.
and now they're talking about the 5080 being $1,400 possibly. This is still a rumor, so nothing's set in stone with what we're saying. We're just kind of speculating on it. Just kind of give anybody context out there that might be listening. This is not for sure, but just thinking about that, and then seeing consoles and how they're kind of changing and whatnot. Do you think they're going to stick around with a regular house under the TV type console, or do you think they're going to lean heavy into hybrids like the Nintendo Switch and try to make, like, because like my whole thought or cool idea back in the day was, oh, it'd be cool if they had like a dock in which you could treat like a Sega Genesis, where you just unplug old generation, plug in new generation, and then the handheld still works at whatever lowest resolution I can put in, or maybe the handheld is the expansion pack that I can upgrade at any point.
Well,
Right?
I think they're going to attack on multiple fronts. One, going to what Paris was saying on the pricing, I thought personally would be hit the $700 range for next gen.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Okay, kind of like Matt.
Yeah, I think $599 is generous, and he's probably right. Like maybe they will bite that bullet, but essentially you're getting way better technology than the PS5 Pro. So you would have to swallow a loss on that if you're going to $600 for that. And I know Sony is probably outside of the fact of having to subsidize that way. To his point that Phil said, it's getting tougher to rationalize doing that from a business standpoint. I don't know if Microsoft would want to do that either, especially since they're going to be offering people so many options, right? Because now everything is an Xbox according to their marketing, right? For me, my Xbox is now my 4080 Super PC. You see what I mean? And so that marketing doesn't really change anything for me outside of, and any of us really, because we're already in this ecosystem. So I know some people got up in arms about that whole thing. Oh, this is an Xbox. You know, what? What do you mean? But I think as far as are they going to have a console going forward under the TV, like you said? Yes, I think so. I would say for at least another 2 generations, if not just one. But I think Microsoft again are trying to attack this on multiple fronts, which is why we're talking about. We're hearing noise of a handheld, so they're trying to encroach a bit into that PC handheld market / Nintendo Switch market in a way, which will be able to do far more than the Switch could ever do. And you might be right. Maybe there might be levels to this. So we're hearing so much, and I've talked about this several times on the podcast. Heard it from other people through grapevine. There is this hypervisor situation that Microsoft is doing, which is why they've started playing on the whole Xbox Play Anywhere. It used to be Play Everywhere. Now it's going to be Play Anywhere, right? And then there's another project. I think some people misquoted it and named it Project Riseway. It's really Roseway. Project Roseway is what they're going to do, and part of that is having all of these options and being able to play Steam, having a Steam OS being available through this hypervisor situation. So I don't know how all of that is going to work out, how they're going to implement it, but Microsoft has some plans in place for sure that's going to tackle so many different areas, from handheld to console to streaming, you know what I mean, to cloud, if you will. So they have all of that. All of that's going to happen, and this is partly why I believe that they won't subsidize so low to 600. Although that does make sense, because it's kind of like it's a tough pill to swallow for the average person. But maybe $699 might be $599 might be for their handheld option, their S version, if you will, versus the $700 or more X variant, if you will. That's the way I'm looking at that, because I don't think you can. I don't think it's unreasonable for them to ask that much for what they have to give now, technology-wise, right, to keep up.
Hey, Umbra, don't think they didn't pay attention to them scalper prices.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Nvidia definitely did. I tell you that. They saw those people scalping that, and they said, "We'll do it ourselves."
Fine, I'll do it myself. Right. Yeah, and I did hear about the 5080 possibly costing about $1,500 or so, which sounds about right. Yeah, because I mean it's more powerful than the 4090. 4090 was marketed at $1,500, so yeah, I can see that. And the 5090 is probably going to come around close to 2,000, if not at 2,000. That's the rumor.
Maybe they're trying to bring longevity to the 40 series and continue to produce those cards.
It's possible, but I've seen shortages of the 40 series.
They're no longer making the 4,000 series cards.
Yeah, see, what I've heard. Yeah,
Harris with the facts.
Here we go.
Paris facts. We're gonna hashtag Paris. But yeah, I had heard that they had like slowed down, but they just stopped. Okay, so that's clarification.
Damn, that's tragic.
So they're trying to move people to the 50 series. That's what it is. And that thing is a power hog too, by the way.
That's a cold-blooded. That's a cold.
Yeah,
you have to look at it this way, and let me be clear. I am not defending anything that NVIDIA is doing, but you have to look at it this way: between the crypto mining and AI uses of these GPUs now, this is why NVIDIA is the richest company in the world. This is why they can do what they do. So, look, I don't know what the pricing is going to be. We're about to find out very soon, but None of these rumors shock me. And it's it's beyond gaming. It's the point that I'm trying to make here. It ain't just about video games.
Like what I was saying earlier, that it has other uses outside of gaming. Because it seemed like for a while, PCs, like top end PCs, were trying to sell to the biggest, baddest gamer outside of businesses.
Yeah.
And now it seems like since AI and you're seeing all these drones and things, just all these different computers for all these different needs.
And then you also have to think of this on a gaming point with NVIDIA. They have the best gaming. What's the word I'm looking for? Software on the market in DLSS. Yeah. No, FSR and PSSR does not come close to DLSS. They've matured it to the point now where it's at 3.5. And I would assume we're going to see another variant of DLSS that's probably exclusive to the 4000 or the 5000 series cards, 4.0 or whatever it may be. That's going to take it even a step further as far as performance goes.
Paris, are you planning on getting a 5090?
Yeah.
But
I'm aware. But it's not even fair to ask me because I'm a tech junkie. I did that for a purpose, though. So
man, he didn't.
You end up getting one of those. You have a spare one laying around. Brother, I'm here. Just let me know.
Hey, my 4090 might be on the market soon. We'll see.
Hey, all right.
We'll see.
Hey, you already got a 4080. Let a brother know. Screw him.
Man.
I hate to crap on another brother, but
oh, trust me. If I had a 5080 or 5090 right now, I wouldn't even be on here. No, I don't have one.
This man's on the moon. All right. Anyways, lastly, Matt, you got to tell us, brother, your thoughts on this subject, and then we need to skedaddle.
So in terms of like another console that sits, traditionally where a console is, right under your TV, yeah. I mean, I think we're good for another 2 rounds of those. I feel like is safe. Maybe Xbox. It might just be one, depending on their whole. We'll see what Xbox's approach is next generation. I feel like if they're leaning more towards a PC style ecosystem, then maybe it's just the one for Xbox, and then maybe they do something really wacky for the generation after that, and who knows, we'll have to see. But I think I feel pretty confident saying we got like 2 more generations of quote unquote normalcy, I guess we'll call it.
Yeah, well, I think that's kind of where I'm sitting at. I think that we have at least two more generations.
I don't know about 2.
You think?
No, come on, Paris. What you doing?
Hold on, Paris. Now you saying we got like 1? Or what you trying to say?
Here's what I say, and I'm just saying this from a
6 or 7 in us.
No, but think of it this way. You got to think of it this way. PlayStation 6. PlayStation 6, next Xbox is probably 2028, right?
Okay.
Do we agree on that? 2028.
I can feel
at least, let's just say conservatively, they go another 6-year cycle after that. That's 2034. When we're in the 2030s, on damn near the mid 2030s at that point, the current leadership that you see right now ain't there. Phil gone. Phil been retired at this point. Herman Holtz, all them, they gone.
Yeah.
It is a new ball game at that point. Technology as far as cloud streaming will be vastly improved by then, right? Who knows the landscape of gaming at that point, where it could be. It literally could be, why are we making these dedicated hardware consoles when we should just put our games everywhere? And everything's a handheld, everything's a hybrid, PC console hybrid. That is all very possible by that point. So I'm not going to say there's not going to be a PlayStation 7, but it would shock me if there isn't one, is the point that I'm making. Damn sure with Xbox, I think this could be the last one for sure, because they've clearly told us we're going multi-platform. Everything's a damn Xbox. So I could, if you give me a minute here, I'll say this. It's pretty clear, and people get so mad at me when I say this, but it is pretty clear Xbox, the next Xbox, will be a device that has multiple digital stores on it at a minimum. It's not just going to be Xbox Store on there. I'm not saying it's Steam. It could be Epic, GOG, or whatever. But they are for sure making a more open device. And I don't think Microsoft is going to be the only one making Xbox hardware in the next generation either.
That is part of the rumor too. Yeah.
Yeah. So when you look at it, because again, all you got to do is pay attention to stuff Phil said over the past year. He's breadcrumbed it out, telling you what they're doing. If you put it all together, he's basically told you we're going to be more open. There's probably we're going to lean into third party vendors making hardware as well. I think that's more so the handheld than it is the console under your TV, but I think even that too, right? So if they do that for an entire generation, they could get to the point in the 2030s, Microsoft could be like, we don't need to make hardware anymore. We'll let Lenovo and Acer and Asus do it and MSI. Why are we making it? Let them make it.
Pushing people more toward the PC side of things too, right?
Yeah.
So I agree with you. That's part of the rumor too, Ham, if you all didn't hear it, Matt and Ham, is that third-party people will be making it where they will just supply the OS hypervisor situation to say public.
I've thought about. I talked about that. I want to say it was at the beginning of earlier this year. I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if Xbox is like the next 3DO.
Oh, that's not good.
And I don't mean like success-wise. I'm talking about manufacturing-wise. Because there was Magnavox. There was Panasonic.
Yeah, Panasonic, yeah.
There was there was Gold Star, which is the one I have. So that's what I'm kind of thinking Xbox might do in the future. Maybe there's an Intel, an AMD. But I don't know, because we're also hearing about what's coming at this next CES show with the whole Legion thing. So maybe it might be just a step outside of that. But I don't know.
My thought on it is, at least for this next generation, we'll obviously see beyond that. But this next generation, it's essentially what Microsoft does with Surface today. Surface is a reference model for hardware for Windows. So Microsoft Xbox makes a reference Xbox go, here's the reference model of what a console should be, right? Here's the Xbox OS. All right, we're going to license it out to Lenovo and Asus. Y'all can make your own. Yours might be less powerful but cheaper, or it could be more powerful and more expensive. But here's the reference model on what we consider the baseline for gaming for Xbox. And then obviously those games are going to be on PC. They're going to be on the PlayStation. They're going to be on Switch too. You can cloud stream them, all that stuff too. That's what I think.
I wouldn't be mad at that, honestly.
I said don't say that, Paris, because Matt, how long have I been saying that?
Yeah, we've talked about it for a little bit.
I was like, they're going to do literally what they did when they stopped making big old PCs. They're going to shrink down. They're going to make it easy just for you to pick up, to continue just to go on ahead with your day, but kind of do the same stuff that you were doing, a couple of years back, except much easier. No more Gateway, but now we have Surface. Now they're going to do the same thing with gaming.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where they're headed. I mean, they lost the digital library age, so they're not going to win the quote unquote console war. That ship sailed. They're not going to win it. So for them to even attempt to try and do it next time, it's a losing effort. So they've clearly realized that, and they're pivoting. They're now, if they're not number one, they're number two biggest publisher in the world. So people thinking that they're not going to go multi-platform. I mean, look, I was wrong, earlier this year, because I didn't think they were going to do this. They're doing it. They're telling you they're doing it. So at this point, you just got to accept it, that they're doing it. And Matt Booty told you the secret. The only reason you're not seeing games on PlayStation day and date is if a studio can't support putting that game on there on multiple platforms day and date. That's why Indiana Jones ain't on there day and date.
Well, I got to ask you real quick, Paris, and then I promise we got to get the hell up out of here. But I do have to ask you while I have you here. As for like the other side, so obviously, PlayStation's doing their thing, but but you just kind of hinted at it with saying, I think this PlayStation 6, but I don't know about 7 or 8 or anything like that. Like, do you think Nintendo's just going to kind of continue to run after everybody's done? Do you think they're going to be the last one?
So here, I said this the other day. Again, people get mad with me because people love to try and pull shit I said from freaking 12 years ago and hold it against me. So what I said about Nintendo the other day was people forget, I guess it's 7, 8 years ago at this point, there was a thing called the Wii U.
Yep.
It was a complete disaster for them. There was questions if Nintendo would even do new hardware during the Wii U era. That's how bad the Wii U was. And obviously they came up with something that was transformative, that was disruptive with the Switch, and boom, Nintendo's being Nintendo again. So Nintendo has no incentive to put their games on other platforms because the Switch model is working for them. I would imagine the Switch 2 is going to continue to work as well. So I don't see them doing it at all. But the point I was making on, we're literally a generation failure away from all business plans changing. That's all. So to think that Nintendo will never do it, I'll never say never. I don't think they will, but it's a never say never thing, because if you go back and take the DS and the Game Boy stuff out of it, because those were not AAA games. Those were games that were essentially just mobile games, right? When you think about the DS and the Game Boy and all that, right? When you think about Nintendo making AAA games, NES was a huge success. Super Nintendo, less than. N64, less than the SNES. GameCube, less than the N64. Wii U was a hit. Wii U was a disaster. All right, Switch 2 is a hit again. The point I'm making on that is Nintendo's not perfect either. So you never say never. Who knows where we're at again by the time we get to the 2030s and we're looking at the successor past the Switch. If the Switch doesn't turn out to be a huge success, I think it will, but you never know. Business plans change. Like I said, people love to pull clips on me from 2021 talking about Xbox. I know what Phil and all of them were saying in 2021. They ain't what they saying in 2024 and 2025. I tell you that, because it didn't work out the way they thought. Game Pass wasn't the huge success they thought it was going to be, right? They had all these delays with all their games. They didn't get the market share they thought they were going to get. So you spent all this money acquiring Bethesda and Activision. You got to get a return on investment. That's what they're doing. And when I look at even PlayStation, people get mad at me about saying this. It's new leadership there. Think about all the people that were there previously that was like, we believe in generations. This new leadership don't believe in generations. This new leadership believes about making money. That's why you see games going on PC quicker and quicker, to the point where if they could support it, those games would be on their day and date. Obviously, their live service games are day and date on PC. To think that they won't put games on Switch, you're fooling yourself. I bet you they start putting games on Switch too. Their legacy games. Would shock me to see a few games come to Xbox as well. I'm not saying they're going to be as aggressive as Xbox is, but PlayStation also realizes you can't lock it down to just one platform anymore. You want to know why? Because my kids, they don't care about this stuff. They care about convenience.
Yeah.
That's what they care about. They don't care about, is it PlayStation or Xbox? They care about, put the games where I like to play. You know where they like to play their games? On their phone.
Yep.
So that's the future. That's why I'm saying, sure, we're going to get a generation after this that looks similar to this one, but the one after that could look vastly different than what we see today.
Fair enough. And man, I could keep going in circles all night, but we got to get up out of here. And before I do that, I got to thank everybody for showing up. Loke, I appreciate you showing up in spirit, brother, but the internet just wasn't your friend today. So it just is what it is. You're no longer here to celebrate this fun evening with us. Moving on. Umbra, I appreciate you for sliding through, spitting your knowledge, talking, doing what you do, being who you are. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for being here, brother. Please let everybody know where they could find you at.
Yes, y'all, and it don't stop. I'm here with Ham and the best. Listen, it's always a pleasure to chop it up with you guys. You already know that. So you put the signal out. A Batman had to come through. you feel me, Paris?
I feel you.
I'm being goofy right now. No, but yeah, man, always a pleasure to come and talk with you guys. All of you guys are distant cousins of mine. It's all family. That's how I look at it. But yeah, you guys can find me Infinite Umbra or Umbra Infinite on Twitter and Blue Sky. Yeah, you'll find me either way. I'm barely on Blue Sky. I'm gonna be honest with you though. But you follow a brother, I'll follow you back. And as far as the podcast, The Fix is on Thursdays at 8:00 Eastern. We won't have any more shows for this, I guess, until next year. That sounds so silly to say, but yeah, until next year we'll return. Thanks everybody who has subbed, and if you have not, just check us out on YouTube and sub. Look under my name, I guess, and you'll find me and sub to a brother's channel. Appreciate you guys, and thanks you guys for having me on.
Absolutely, anytime. I like coming on your show as well. So definitely holler at a brother whenever you want me to slide through over there. I'd be more than happy to show my face, or I guess we don't even show our faces over there. I guess present my voice.
Your presence is all that's needed. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you so much for showing up this evening. It means a lot. End of the year kind of thing. This is the last podcast I'll be having with you in 2024. So I appreciate that a ton. Matt Likes Games, you're up next, brother. You please let everybody know where they can find you. You got a new video coming out, I believe tomorrow is what you said you wanted to do. So let everybody know what to come to expect.
Yeah, buddy. So you can find me on YouTube, Matt Likes Games, videos every week over there, podcasts every week as well. Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern is the L3R3 podcast with myself, Hard Days Mike, and it's me, Twan. Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern is a two-player podcast with myself and my buddy here, Mr. Ham Solo. And then Fridays, you can find me here every Friday, 4 p.m. Eastern for BullSittin. A little bit different this week, but here's what it is. Same show.
Dope. I appreciate it. Did you say what you're gonna have coming on tomorrow?
Space Marine 2 stuff. Space Marine 2 stuff.
Yep,
Over
for I
on the
believe
channel.
the Steam Deck.
The
I
Steam
believe.
Deck.
'Cause
Yeah, buddy.
it supposedly runs really well on the Steam Deck.
Surprisingly well.
So be sure to look out for that on Matt Likes Games channel. And then lastly here, I got brother Vicious, Paris Lilly here. Got to meet him at the Game Awards in an awkward way, but I'm happy to have met him, and I'm happy to have him here. He showed up. I just tweeted out, or not tweeted out, but I sent him a message saying, "Hey, I'm going live. Show up if you want." And he showed up. So like he's here. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Let everybody know where they can find you if they don't know already.
First and foremost, thank you for inviting me to come on. Appreciate the conversation. It was great meeting you in person a couple weeks ago at the Game Awards. As far as finding me, social media at Vicious696, and I am on Gamertag Radio, and I am on Kind of Funny.
That's what's up. Make sure to check him out. Like you said, he's on Twitter. He's on Twitch. He's on YouTube. Bro's all over the place. You'll see him. I mean, turn on TV and watch some stuff about gaming. You might see him there. You never know. But anyways, this is your boy Ham Solo signing out for TSWS Gaming. I appreciate everybody that decided to show up during the holiday season right now to show some love over here. Please make sure that you hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Also, show the other guys here some love. If you haven't before, check out their channel, see what they work on, see what they got coming up in the future, as they just got done telling you. But I hope everybody has a blessed rest of the holiday season. We'll see you next year. I believe next Friday, actually. It will be 2025 by then. We will see you guys for the next episode of BullSittin with me. Hopefully, Loke gets his internet figured out. Cozy Beluga, Matt Likes Games, Mental 9R if he can make it, and maybe a guest or two if I can holler at some people to get it prepared. Thanks, everybody, for showing up. Y'all have a wonderful rest of the week. This is your boy Ham Solo signing out from TSWS. Deuces.